Yes, y'all, you know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 241. Yes, sir. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here. We are blessed and highly flavored to be here with you guys.
Highly flavored. I have sprinkles on top.
Exactly. I mean, we are a ethnically diverse group.
Yes, we are.
Oh, there you go.
We are blessed and highly flavored between the four of us. You don't know what you're gonna get.
No.
That needs to be our new tagline. Not the kids' wives, like we are blessed and highly flavored. I like that.
Kids,
needs to be on a
wives,
t-shirt.
9-to-5s, blessed and highly flavored. I like it.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be a t-shirt.
I like it.
Oh my gosh. All right. So just from the top, you guys.
Yeah.
We're about to get inundated. Go ahead and get your insulin shot ready. Because there's about to be a love fest so sweet that you're going to have diabetes.
It's going to be a highly flavored love fest.
That's right.
That's
Look
true.
at that.
Definitely highly flavored.
Look at that.
Chris, who should we even... I mean, these boys are about to put us to shame. Unless you had something happen this week that I don't know about.
No, man.
Extra exciting.
Why are you going to assume that Chris didn't do anything extra
Seriously,
exciting?
exactly.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, unless he did something that I don't know about.
Yeah, that's reality. I didn't do anything crazy exciting.
I got to. Yeah.
Chris is highly flavored. He'll be fine.
I was watching our Twitter this week, and Gabe and Chris did not keep up with the other half of the podcast. And I was
like, oh my gosh, another tweet! Oh, I gotta keep up.
It's the most tweeting I've done since I've been on the podcast, I think.
I was sitting back looking at my phone like, how are the oldest guys on the podcast having more fun than the youngest guys on the podcast?
That's right. Sit down, youngin. Sit down.
So, Chris, who should we start with between the two of these guys? Because we're about to get it.
You guys go, and then Ed, you and I, we can just banter back and forth. It's just the easiest because my head's like my head is spinning. So, and I don't know where to start, but yeah, you guys go.
Well, Chris, let me and you get our boring week out the way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's
the
fine.
guy who just came off tour.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be quite as involved. So because I feel like I laid down my head last week after the podcast and then woke up and it was already podcast time again. I mean, the time is just flown for me.
I hear that, man. I hear that.
But it's crazy because even though it's flown, I feel like I've done almost nothing. It's like, what did I do? I'm like writing my notes like, okay, what did I do this week? And this is time when you got to sit and think.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, Daisy, what do we do? You know, like, oh my gosh, I can't remember.
That's hilarious.
So, I will back up to last Saturday. We had the Main Street Art Festival, which is an art festival that happens in downtown Fort Worth here in the Metroplex. Dallas has one, and they have one in all these other little cities as well. I think Dallas is actually having theirs in a couple of weeks. And then there's this other city close to here called South Lake. They're having theirs next week. We have all these on our calendar because Stacy's awesome like that, and she finds cool stuff going on and puts it on my calendar so I can remember that it's happening and we can go. But last week was the Main Street Art Festival, which I said is in Fort Worth, and it's probably the best one. It's the biggest out of all the ones that we go to. And we've gone every year since we moved to Fort Worth, and we've lived here for 8 years now.
That's cool, man.
And it's
are you guys actively looking for art, or is it just kind of a hang?
No, we're not actively looking to buy, but we have purchased before.
Nice.
So it's one of those things where we just go there to see like all the really cool stuff. I mean, there's some really awesome art. And the cool thing about the Fort Worth one is it's kind of, I guess for this part of the country, kind of well known. So it usually, like I was saying, is the largest, but that's because most people come to it because it's kind of prestigious in a way. So there's definitely artists that we only see at that art fair that will be like, oh yeah, I hope so-and-so is going to be there again. And I don't even remember their names, but they'll always show back up. I'm like, oh yes. And I get to see like the new pieces from this person's collection.
Oh, that's really cool though.
Yeah, it's really, really neat. And there's so many cool things. It's like, that's awesome, but I don't have $2,500 for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I had no idea I was going to come home with an 8-foot giraffe made out of recycled garbage.
Exactly. It's like, excuse me, where is your little
For $2,000.
5x7 print wall? I would like to buy one of those.
Yes.
Not an original, but you do good work. So we went down there and we spent a while there. It was really crazy, the weather, because it didn't rain, but it was unseasonably cold and super windy. And so that was a little bit crazy. And it's nuts because, they just all have these little booths that are kind of like tents. Like they just have like a metal frame and then you put like a tarp around it. And then that's how each of the booths are. And so there's like people with these, like I said, $2,500 paintings or whatever on a wall. And it's just like flying and flopping around because of the wind. It's like, this isn't even my art and I'm nervous.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't know how and I'm assuming that kinds of stuff happens all over the place because most of these art fairs, they're just outside and, you just got to deal with whatever the weather is. It could be raining or whatever. So that was a little bit crazy, but it was cool because when you would get in towards like where the skyscrapers were, because it's down Main Street, the wind would die down. It would only be like in the cross sections where the roads would cross that it would kind of pick up and get windy. So the people who had booths right there were a little bit unfortunate for them.
Right.
So it's like, let's just move some of the more expensive stuff and the big tall statues. Let's just move those in towards the middle and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. The only thing that we don't like about it is officially they say that no pets are allowed, which I kind of understand because you don't want a dog going into some booth and knocking over like some statue that costs, $1 million or something crazy.
Or peeing on it, either one.
Yeah, exactly. Or chewing on it, licking on it, like, can I eat this? And it starts.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, man, we just really would like to be able to take it feels like the kind of thing you just stroll around and take your dog and walk around.
Yeah,
and there
that's
are
cool.
people that bring dogs. I don't know if they just don't pay attention. And service dogs obviously are allowed. So most of them have like a vest and everything. But every now and then you'll see like a rogue dog. And I'm like, see, we should have brought ours. Dang it.
Right. Yeah.
And we never do because we look at the rule sheet beforehand. We're like, okay, we shouldn't do it.
I'm a little bit of a rule follower like that too. Like if somebody's like, hey, you should, I'm legalistic just enough that I'm not fun when it comes to people where they're like, man, let's just do it anyway. And you're like, like that makes me uncomfortable.
I can be the same way. So that was nuts. But that was a lot of fun. That was on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I just kind of hung out at the house. Like I mowed the lawn and just hung out with the dog and everything. Stacy went to a Zumbathon that was raising money for a charity, like to fight cancer and everything. And she was there dancing her tail end off for like 3.5 hours or something crazy.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, so she Zumba'd it up for a long time, took a lot of pictures, and I got to see all those. They're on Facebook and whatnot. So she had a blast with that. Outside of that, I can't remember what I've done, honestly. I mean, outside of work, it's like I just don't even, I think I just came home and slept. So
nice. Is this
go
go time?
Straight onto the games.
Is this go time for you around this time?
Say
is
again?
Is this a busy time? Like usually?
Yeah, I mean it. Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, there's nothing in particular happening. Like obviously, whenever there's holiday season and stuff, like we're ramping up and things are going crazy. But because we do things so far in advance. There's just a bunch of projects that are hitting or coming into beginning, like they're in the beginning stages. So all that stuff's being worked out, and the shooting will happen starting like next month and then into June and July. And so it's like a lot of stuff, but it's like when you tell somebody else, like, oh yeah, I had to type a bunch of stuff. It's like, well, that doesn't sound like much. It's like, well, yeah, but it's hard to explain, but it's like, yes, it's a lot, even though it doesn't seem like it. But if you're in the trenches and doing it, it like all makes sense. And then kind of finalizing a couple of other projects that are coming to a head right now. So just a bunch of kind of busy work type stuff that has to be done.
Yeah.
That either ends out one project or start the beginning of a new one. So gaming wise, on Sunday, since I kind of stayed home pretty much the whole day after I took care of a bunch of chores and things around the house, I played some more Arkham Knight.
Nice.
I played for, I want to say like 4 hours or something. There was one point where I got there and I was just like, man, I don't know if I'm feeling this. I was trying to do something with the Batmobile and I was like, I just don't want to drive this thing. I'm just not really feeling this part. But I was like, I'm going to push through. And I'm glad that I did because I'm enjoying it way more now.
Oh, good. Nice.
I feel I'm enjoying it enough to where I'm like, some story elements that I know this game is old, but just in the fact of maybe spoilerish stuff, I knew that these elements were coming, but when they finally showed.
I'm asking what was the turn like to where you weren't having fun to all of a sudden you're having fun?
That was it. There were some story plots that happened that again I was vaguely familiar or knew was going to happen because I know a lot about the story already. But when they showed up, I was like, oh, that actually is really cool. I want to see more of that.
Oh, cool.
Interesting.
So I'm trying to keep it a little vague because I don't want to spoil anything.
Sure.
Even though it is an older game. But there were some story beats that happened. I was like, okay, now it's getting cool again. And as far as the Batmobile goes, I don't really mind the tank stuff. Like when you're shooting, there's these other armored vehicles that you run into occasionally and you've got to shoot them because you have like this big machine gun and then this rocket and all that kind of stuff. That stuff I don't really mind so much. It's just the driving, like when you're having to chase some other people or you're having to go from point A to point B through the Batmobile. I don't like the way that like when you're doing the tank stuff, it makes sense to have that kind of 180 degree turn with the wheels and like go side to side. But when you're just driving, you also still have that ability, and I don't like it. It doesn't. Like I just want to go. I want it to lock it down and drive like a normal car when I'm just going fast and chasing somebody, and then when I'm in battle, let it move to battle mode where I can have the all weird
where you can strafe and everything.
Yeah, I just don't like that on the driving because it feels wonky to me.
You can strafe when you're driving.
It has that because when you turn, the wheels will still turn. Or like if you're like, okay, this one point I had to jump up on a roof and I had to drive the Batmobile on a roof.
Yeah.
Even when I'm not in battle mode, I'm trying to just turn my car in position because you've got to hit a ramp so that you can jump to the other part of the roof.
Right.
But the wheels still go 180 degrees and do this weird strafing thing, and it's hard for me to position myself just right to do what I'm wanting to do. It's like I spend more time just trying to get in the right position because of the stupid strafing mechanic than I did just doing what I need to do.
Man, I do not remember that.
And then whenever you're turning, like when you're doing a car chase, because at one point you've got to chase these people and get them off of Commissioner Gordon as he's going through the streets. I don't know for 100%, but it felt like the strafing mechanic was still there. Like when you turn, you have to hit the e-brake or you have to do these other things, but the wheels will still turn way quicker and faster. Maybe not a complete 180 degrees in that mode, but close enough that it felt like, man, this is just wonky. I don't like it. I don't. And again, in the battle mode, it's fine. It kind of makes sense to be able to be maneuverable that much because you're coming from all directions and you've got to avoid their missiles and shoot them and everything. But in the just driving aspect, I don't like the way that handles.
You mean 90 degrees, right?
Well, it can go completely from the left all the way to the right. Like it can do 180 degrees that way.
I see what you're
That's
saying.
What I mean.
Okay,
so like you can have the wheels all the way to the left and you're going left, and then you can turn them all the way the other direction and go sideways, like on a straight line going sideways. Weird. That's what I meant. As the wheels turn completely like that.
So is strafing the same thing as fishtailing, basically? Is that just the automotive
because the front wheels and the back wheels turn, so nothing's sliding. It goes like just left or right or straight or back.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's not like a diagonal or anything. So again, when you're doing this tank stuff, it kind of makes sense because you could have like cars completely surrounded you and they're shooting rockets, and you need to be able to maneuver like completely around to miss, because you can see like this trail of where they're about to fire and it's going to go this direction, so you can move out of the way of it real quick.
Gotcha.
And it kind of makes sense. But when you're driving just normal Batmobile stuff like a normal car, because when you get out of battle mode, it settles down and then the gun goes away and goes into like car mode, it still has some of those elements, and I just don't like the way that it feels. It doesn't feel right to me. It's very cumbersome. I'd rather just eject, unless it's part of the mission, like I have to follow this person, I'll eject out of it and leave the Batmobile there, and I'll just go fly building to building, you know, with my cape, and that feels way better to me. And it's fast enough that I don't feel like it's taking me forever. I don't know if I've completely opened up the entire city of Gotham yet, so I'm sure there's still more to go.
Yeah.
But that was the most that I played Batman in one session. Outside of that, I've been playing a ton of Overwatch.
Nice.
I enjoy the new event. I've been trying to get loot boxes, even though I don't think all the skins in this go round are that great. I still want to get. There's some cool stuff in there that I haven't been able to get. I have gotten one skin. It was a legendary skin. I got the. I think it's a young Torbjorn, because he's like. Like his beard is shaved off, and I actually kind of dig that because it's the only skin that I'm aware of where he doesn't have the big bushy beard, and I thought that was kind of cool. So I got that one as a drop, but outside of that, I've just gotten like sprays and emblems and.
Man, I cannot get a skin up out of them loot boxes, man. Jeez Louise.
Yeah,
that game hates me.
It's been a bit stingy. Definitely, I feel so for me as well on this one. Like again, I know they say, "Oh, we haven't changed the loot drop rates or anything," and you know, you got to take them at their word. But
I don't usually get the skins, so everything feels normal to me. It's just frustrating. I'm like, please, sir, I can have some more. They're like, Gabe Patillo wants more.
You're good on skins, sir.
Exactly.
Shall we let him?
Nay.
Yeah.
I say nay. That's awesome.
Well, I'm kind of in your boat this go around because I've only gotten that one, and I've not really gotten much of anything else. So The event,
Oh,
I think
man.
it ends this coming Friday, so there's not much longer to play, or maybe it's next Tuesday.
wow.
Maybe it resets on the normal time frames.
Mhm.
But anybody, I'm going to definitely be in there playing around some more this weekend. We've got a couple things coming up on Saturday, but I'm going to play as much as I can just to see whatever I can get. Plus, I like to get, I've been saving up my in-game coins because I know that there's going to be an event that comes where there is going to be a bunch of really cool stuff. And finally, I'm going to have enough money to buy one or two things that I really want. So
Yeah, there you
loot
go.
boxes are the only real way to get that. So even if there's not a particular skin that I'm dying to have, it's like, well, I still would like to get loot boxes so that I can possibly get gold or duplicates because that turns into gold. And there's still definitely motivation for me to go. Plus the new, like I said, I think last week, the new horde mode that's been introduced is actually really fun. And you get a lot
I
of
still need to
points
try
playing it too. Yeah, you get a lot of points. So
That's
it's a good
awesome.
way to level up and bring in those loot boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it. Doesn't compare to the craziness we're about to get into soon, but go ahead and give us your story, Mr. Gabe.
Oh, what's today? Wednesday? I'm just kidding. It's the same thing with me, Chris. Like, it just feels like life is just like, brah, brah, rah, rah, rah.
Even when you're home now, like off tour, like
yes,
no,
man, doggone
Yeah,
it.
man.
Did you move to Compton?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right?
No. It's hard out here in these streets, player.
That's right, player. Either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about the hood. Anyway, continue. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's funny. So I'm doing something a little different this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm running a 5K.
Yeah, you are.
Yes!
The
Listen,
chubby ninja
That
is
is not the
about
way
to
of the chubby
strike.
ninja.
it is not. I
that's
will not be
amazing.
surprising anybody with my speed this coming weekend. I'll be the one with the oxygen tank.
But I thought you're supposed to be surprisingly fast.
I'm surprisingly fast, but I'm a sprinter.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's right.
He's like a cheetah.
Exactly. This doesn't stay up for long.
Yes.
I'm like, oh God, I'm coming. Wait. No, don't everybody
Save-
pack up and go home. I'm still
Save
out
me,
here.
Jesus.
I'm still out here. I'm like with the guy who's picking up the cones, like for the.
I just have this vision of Jenny pushing you in a wheelchair for some reason.
Exactly. I'll cross the finish line in a hover round.
There you go.
Hover
I love
around,
Hover around.
I can ride a 5K in my hover around.
Exactly. Oh gosh.
Oh, man.
Everybody see me, I'm a hover round. I ride my hover round.
Round.
I got this marathon done. So New Hope Academy, the school that my daughter goes to, they do this fundraiser and Toby takes a big part of it. And he's done it for the last I want to say 8 years. He used to run the half marathon, like the 13 miles, and he gets people from all over to come and raise money and to come and run with him. And now that Amara goes there, and I've always dodged the draft. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's like, Gabe, are you going to be there? And I'm like, no, I will not be, but I'll be there in support at the finish line with ice cream and hamburgers. So if you need some encouragement at the end of your run, that's where I'll be. And so I've always been there for, to help kick it off and to come and high five people. I've never taken place in it. But now that Amara goes to the school, I thought, man, it's time to
Yeah, you kind of have to pony up, don't you?
get a page up and ask people for money and go run a 5K. And I'm just not looking forward to it.
Have you been running in preparation, or are you just going to go and pass out the first day?
Ed, you know the answer to that question, Doc?
You got to
Get your-
practice a little bit. Get yourself in a little bit of
Oh, man,
condition.
he can just- run.
I'm looking
he
at
can run
surprising
walk it.
myself.
You can run walk it. You'll be totally fine.
Yeah,
I'm
you
trying to have
don't
it be
need to
over
run
with.
the entire 5K. Absolutely, you can run walk, but you also, Gabe's a competitive guy. I'm sure he wants to set a time and beat it or something. Or do you not? Am I totally wrong? on
No,
that?
I ain't worried about beating a time.
I was going to say, I think when it comes to running, he doesn't care.
Exactly. I'm going to have to get a lion out there in the first place to even get my butt to run in the first place.
Okay, let me ask you
Just
this.
to get him at the finish line.
Exactly.
Are you planning to run any of it, or are you just going to straight up walk?
No, I'm planning on having it done as fast as possible.
All right.
So whatever that means.
Yes.
Well, then we're
Yeah,
gonna.
man.
And is this the first 5K you've ever ran, or not?
This is the first run collectively with anything outside of being scared.
We want to thank Gabe for joining us on the podcast. This is his last one.
It's been.
We'll
Gabe,
never hear from him again.
I will remember you.
I don't want to predict this is going to happen, but it would not surprise me if you came back from it kind of enjoying it and getting.
I think he will. Yeah, I think he will.
Because they're surprisingly like fun to do. Like the first one I did was the same way. It's like, oh, okay, I'll do this just because my nephew wants me to join this run with him, and I ran with family, and it was kind of fun. And then I've done more and done more, and now I run on my own. And it all started from just doing my first 5K.
Jenny was. Well, I'm glad. I hope that.
Well, Chris, I'm happy for you.
Has anybody? If you've never seen Chris, just go look up a picture of his 135-pound self. I bet
Soaking
give
wet.
him some pounds.
38.
Exactly.
But who's
I
counting?
literally legit probably weigh 50 more pounds than Chris as he's talking about enjoying running.
That doesn't matter.
And so,
It doesn't matter at all, man.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
It doesn't.
I would think being light on your feet would make it a little bit more enjoyable for everyone. Like, especially for the people behind me. They're going to be like, did you fart? Was that me? Or is that the guy in front of us?
No, on that front, I mean, this is great. You're going to have people all around you. Nobody's going to know where it came from.
Hey, and listen, my in memoriam next week needs to be off the chain.
It will.
Okay.
We'll take care of it, brother.
If I
We
die,
got
I need
you.
that thing to be like, turn down for what? People.
Okay. So skip Sarah McLachlan. We'll go
Yeah,
more.
do not use Sarah McLachlan in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
in memoriam.
No,
for when
we
I
got
die.
you. We got you.
You're going to like
This-
it. You're going to
This
like
is the way
it.
I'm looking at it. It's just a 5K.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
That's
it.
right.
The only reason we call it a 5K is to make it sound like you're doing more than you're doing.
Yes.
Exactly. It's 2.5 miles, something like that.
I don't know.
No, it's a little over
It's
3.
It's 3.1 miles.
Three.
Yeah.
Okay, 3.
But when it comes to the half marathon, they don't call it something K. They call it 13.1 miles. And then a full marathon, 26.2 miles. This is called 5K because nobody wants to say 3.1 miles. So
I'll make a
we'll
sticker for you. That says that if you
Well,
want. I think that'd be amazing to put on the back of your car. Just
I'ma
boom,
do-
3.1 playa.
I would do mine
Pow!
in feet just to sound really
Hey,
over
there
the
you
top.
go.
7,000. I'm just kidding. So I'm doing that this weekend, and I'm a little like, I'm not nervous about it, but people know each other's times. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know what a good or a bad time is. I'm just not
No.
trying to be out there to where
No,
people
no,
are like.
no.
So
Don't
Gabe,
even sweat it.
took Gabe 3 hours.
Nobody,
to run.
No,
like you said,
it's
again, with
not
it
gonna
being a
be like that.
5K, nobody looks at it like, oh my gosh, you got to beat, like they know like it's a 5K. You're just kind
But
of
I mean,
doing
I should be
this.
done in what, like 45 minutes?
Don't worry about what a good time is, Gabe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm trying.
You're going to be sorely disappointed.
No. I'm not worried about having a good time. I just don't want to have a bad time.
I don't think you will.
You're not
I
going to
think you'll
have,
have
that's
fun
all
with it.
determined by you and how you approach it. It doesn't matter how long it takes you.
No. You're not understanding me.
No, yeah, he doesn't mean like philosophically have a
okay, I
bad
got
time.
you. I got you.
I'm
Again,
trying to, if it shouldn't take you an hour and a half to run a 5K, I'm not trying to be out there for an hour and a half.
I don't
You know
think
what I'm
it'll
saying?
take you an hour and a half.
You'll be
How
fine.
long
you-
should it take?
I have no idea.
There's no should. There's just,
It depends on the person.
yeah,
How
it's all
long-
different.
How long can I be out there before it's not embarrassing?
You know what? We're not going to say, you just tell us your time next week and we'll all have a good laugh.
That's right.
Regardless.
Are you running with Jenny?
See, here's the thing. Jenny said we should run this thing together.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, but do you plan on talking though? Because I'm trying to not talk and use all my energy for breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if we go. I mean, I would think we would run next to each other, but what if she's trying to walk? I'm trying to be done.
So walk.
I don't want to
no,
do this
I know
thing.
you are, but enjoy it, dude. Just
Yeah,
try
just
to.
have fun.
I know it sucks, but like
How you
just
enjoy
try
it
to.
or running?
You can
thousands of
honestly.
other people.
I hate running too, but if you do like the run walk, it actually helps because you don't blow out in the first 5 minutes and then you're like hurting for the rest of it. So take your time. Don't worry about it. No one's out there like marking your times. Like, oh, Gabe's got to go faster.
Yeah,
Just
nobody
take
cares
it
about
easy.
that stuff.
Talk with Jenny if you want to. It'll be fine. Just enjoy it.
I'm trying to have headphones on, man.
I mean,
honest
you
truth.
could do that route too, but just take your time. Do not, because the last thing you want to do is bonk in the first 5 minutes,
I
and
just
then
want to do a
you're
slow,
struggling.
nice jog
There you
the
go.
whole
go.
time.
That's all you got to
Good.
do.
Do it.
And not stop jogging.
Yeah.
Then do
So
that.
just
Yeah.
do that, and knowing that like the first 5 minutes, your body's like, hey, whoa.
Hey, Doc,
Because
what's this about?
Mine does too. And then after 5 minutes, it kind of gets in the zone. It's like, but just keep a nice, slow, steady.
And every
pace.
mile marker, they're probably going to have water, so it gives you
Yep.
an incentive
Hey,
to
you will be
stop or
fine.
slow down for a second. Everybody else is going to be doing it too, for the most part, so you don't have to feel like, oh no, I'm slowing down. People are judging me. It's like, no, it's the water stop. You get some water, you drink it, you go. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be great, dude. Don't even worry about it.
It's a casual event. Enjoy
It is exactly.
Yeah.
It is not the marathon. It is a total casual event. It's for your daughter. It's all good.
Okay.
It's going to be awesome.
All right. Well, hopefully my legs don't fall off.
They won't.
They won't. Nope.
We'll see. So this last week, I don't think I talked about it last week. Scotty Lindsay and his wifey from the Gaming Outsider
Yes.
sent me a gift in the mail for being a part of. He said it was he didn't need to send something, but you remember a couple weeks ago when I was in Carolina with Eric Green, I took a picture of that Final Fantasy VII NES remake.
Oh yeah.
Hmm?
He bought that for me.
Oh,
What?
come on.
What?
I know, and sent it to me, so I put it up on the Twitter, me looking at it.
Man.
And I know, man, it showed up. I was like, this guy, man, y'all
Seriously.
really pay attention to the podcast and what's going on.
Why, I oughta.
I
course they
know,
do.
Man.
Shoot. And the
I
kisser.
got to post a picture of me with a surround system.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I sure need a new one of these.
Yeah, I'm going to take a picture with me outside and be like, wow, look at this Tesla. Sure is cool.
This Bugatti is pretty dope.
That
I didn't
picture in front of
realize
my new
that's all it
house.
That's really nice of him, though. That's
so
cool.
thank you
That's
to Scotty
amazing.
Lindsay. It doesn't work in the Retron, so I got to get my hands on like a actual Nintendo. Unless it does, and I'm just doing something wrong. But I don't think it does.
Did you blow in it?
I tried that.
I got nothing
Jiggle
for
the
you then.
cartridge a little.
And so the I don't know that it doesn't work for sure. Like there's an update that I need to do on the Retron anyway. But my awesome laptop doesn't have a card reader, so it's not as easily said as done.
Mm.
So I had to buy a card reader yesterday, and so it'll be here tomorrow. And so I just thought that was really, really, really sweet gift. And for
Yeah.
nothing else, one of the reasons I didn't buy it in the first place because I knew I wouldn't. I knew I probably wouldn't play it in its entirety, but I really wanted it for my shelf.
Mhm.
Right.
And I can definitely do that on the shelf. But I was really wanting to put it on the YouTube channel because I think people were not understanding that it wasn't the old school Final Fantasy VII that was originally made for the NES that looked all crappy. This one looks awesome. Like when we had the guy pop it into the NES when I was in the store and he played through like the first 10 minutes for the bomb. I forget what the bombing run. I don't forget what that first mission's called, but it looks incredible. I mean, it's 8-bit and everything, but it's
Yeah.
like you could tell that it's like remade, new. It's just a
Cleaned
really,
up.
really
That's
cool
cool.
thing. Yeah,
That's
cleaned
awesome.
up. Yeah, it looks awesome. So I'm excited to get that up and going soon. I think that's it. The bug guy came and sprayed.
What are you playing?
I'm playing.
Bug guy came.
That's awesome.
I'm
It was so
playing.
subtle too. I had to think about that for a second. Wait, what did he just say? The bug guy came and sprayed. Boom. There it is. Orkin at its finest.
Yeah. I'm playing Zelda.
Nice.
And,
Enjoying it?
Yes.
Mhm.
This is the one thing, this happens every now and then when you're playing a game. You know when your soul gets so happy when you're playing something that you smile?
Yep.
Yeah.
That happened for the first time while I was playing Zelda this last week.
Nice.
What
What
was
brought
it?
on the smile?
It was something that happened right after I got the legendary sword. So you can play the whole game without getting the sword that I got. I posted it on Twitter.
Yeah.
But it's your sword. It's Link's sword. That they call it the sword that something the darkness or conceals the darkness. Something I don't remember. But
Hashtag NTTG. Oops.
Yes, they're coming. Right? I've never heard. Isn't it Master Sword?
Is it the Master Sword?
I don't know, but just the minute you said legendary, I was like, I don't know if that's right.
No, Master Sword sounds right. I think it's Master Sword. I think you're right.
I don't know for
I
sure.
don't pay attention to these things.
Yeah, I don't really either.
Hashtag MTTG oops.
Yeah, exactly. The whole reason I got it is because it doesn't wear out. It doesn't break.
Nice.
So it can wear out to where you have to like not use it for a little while. That's like the caveat.
Yeah.
Is like you could use it and it won't break, but then you have to like use a different sword for a little while. I haven't gotten to that point because I haven't used it that much. But I knew it wouldn't break, so I was gonna go get it, and it takes 13 hearts before you can go get it and all this business. And so I went and got it. And there's like a guardian thing watching over it. It's a tree. And when you get it, a memory happens. So throughout the game, you can go to these different points on the map, and a memory will happen because you've lost your memory after being asleep for 100 years and all this business. And so none of this is spoilery, by the way.
That's all right.
So a memory happens, and you're watching Zelda, kind of put this sword up for hopefully your return and all this business. And this tree is talking to you. And he's like, she put this here so I could watch over it, blah, 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 blah. She's battling in the castle and all this, yada, yada. And he says something like, she has a smile that shines like the sun, and I am longing to be like I'm butchering the quote, but I'm longing to, bask in its rays again or something like that.
Are you reading from the Song of Solomon right now?
I know, I was going to say.
Exactly. I drank wine from her navel. And so
Something about bosoms.
Something about bosoms.
Something.
Legs of a gazelle, something or
Oh
other.
my god.
Legs of a gazelle. Yeah.
And so, anyway, something about how he said it was really sweet, and it just hit me in a weird way. And I ended up smiling. And as I was smiling, I was like, wait, why am I smiling about this
Nice.
game? Am I
That
liking
was
this
your
game a
joy.
lot?
Wait,
And
that's
so-
going to be hard.
Exactly. Wait a second. I'm in Compton. What am I doing?
I'm thugged out.
I'm about to run a
In the background.
5K.
Exactly.
I'm about to.
Yeah. About to raise money for school, the most gangster thing ever.
Exactly.
And so,
I remember that's an NWA song, brother. I know it's somewhere.
exactly.
Run a 5K.
I'm running a 5K. A young brother named Ice Cube. So anyway, all that to say, that it felt like it was the first time that I attached to a character in this game. Because
Nice.
what are
The tree.
the problems? Yeah, exactly. One of the problems I'm having with this game is that I don't have anybody to grasp onto, and that's struggling for me. Because there's no proper, and I say this, people are going to disagree, but there's no proper story in it. I don't feel like in Zelda. And so it's not like you're like, there's a story, but it's all given to you in the first 5 minutes. This happened, so go do this. And then everything else is really a huge side quest to the main thing that you're trying to do.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like I told you guys before, your first thing is go kill Ganon. Go defeat Ganon. And so that's your first thing. And it says, here's where he's at. Go beat him. But the fact of the matter is you're not strong enough to go do that. So everything you have to go do to come back to that first quest that you got to go beat Ganon. And so with that, I don't remember who I was talking to about this week, but there was something about the way The Witcher did side quests that made you feel like every side quest was part of the main story.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Where this doesn't have that because there's no ramp to the end. You know who the final boss is. You know what you're trying to do. You know you're trying to save Zelda, and that's it. So everything over here is just to gain enough strength or power or hearts or stamina to go do the thing that you set yourself to do in the first place. So so characters come and go so fast that I haven't been able to like anybody. And it's hard to like Link for me. Like he's he's voiceless. He doesn't talk. He just goes like, ah, you know what I'm saying? Like, when he has a flashback. And so like, I don't like, I'm not particularly drawn to Link or anything like that as a character. And then you don't really get time to connect with anybody else except for Zelda. She's kind of the only one that you see constantly throughout. There's like a bird that you see every now and then or somebody who's selling wares, but like, that's not the same. You know what I mean?
Hey, Link, you want to buy something from me?
Yeah, it's like, I seen you in this town too. That's crazy. I got some radishes. And you're like,
I'm a big old bird.
Exactly. I got a song. I know a song about this area. Want to hear it? And I'm like, nah.
Not so much.
Next time, then I'm like, maybe next time I got some time to kill.
I'm good. I got serious.
Exactly. I just signed up for Spotify, so
I gotta run this 5K real quick.
Yeah, can I hear it right after this 5K when I'm dead?
Yeah. So it sounds like Lord of the Rings, where it's basically go put the ring in Mount Doom, and here's 12 hours of movie in between.
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Kind of like that, except you fall in love with Samwise Gamgee on your way.
That's true.
You don't do that on this.
He said a few words.
Yeah, I like him. So he's a servant's heart.
He is a servant.
Yeah, he is.
So anyway, all that to say, like, I feel like within the next 2 weeks, I'll probably have Zelda beat because I need to do like a Divine Beast. I kind of got carried away. I bought this house, and then when you buy a house, then you can go start this island with this guy, and he's like, go collect people whose last names or names end in son, and they can come live in this. And it was Spencer I was talking to over this last week, and so
Gabe started
Spencer
a cult.
Stapleton.
Yeah,
exactly.
I
So
was like, what?
Helping the cult
Gabe's
start.
drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, exactly.
He's making the Kool-Aid and having others drink it.
Heaven's Gate, Hyrule.
Oh man,
edition.
Hyrule's Gate.
Yeah, Hyrule's Gate. We're about to eat some Jello and take it on to Ganon.
Little delicious Jello.
Yeah, let's follow this comet.
Oh Lord.
Got my Keds on.
Nice.
So
my God.
Your purple power blanket.
Bugman came and sprayed. All good.
Man, I've gone on way too long. But
no, trust me, it is amazing.
Enjoying Zelda, liking it a lot, and I still don't know about best game ever.
Yeah.
But just for me, I need a character that's
you need a story more, don't you?
A little bit, and people get me mad because there is a story, and you're like,
no, I'm sure.
Okay.
When you posted that picture, I thought you finished the game.
I did too. I was like, oh,
yeah,
snap,
no, that's
he's done.
I posted it just because I knew that people who knew what it was would know what it is, and so in the sense of getting the Master Sword.
I feel like there's a lot of people out there that obviously there's tons that have been like, oh, Zelda, and you know, for many good reasons. But the one consistent kind of knock against it that I have seen from lots of people, even people who are really enjoying it, is that there's really not a story. So I don't feel like you're going to catch a lot of flack for that. I mean,
really?
That's the one kind of consistent thing that people are like, well, story's not really its strong suit, but blah, 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 blah. This is so good and that and everything else. Right. So I don't feel like you're going to catch too much flack for that. I
mean, there's so many layers to the way they built this game that it's just, it really is mind blowing when you parse down kind of like, you know, how the weather affects certain things or how, you know, whatever you're carrying affects certain things that you're doing with. I mean, it's pretty nuts. Like, you know, like I told you guys about the fire sword and the ice sword and how that helps regulate your body temperature and, you know, in different areas. And so, I mean, they've thought
of everything basically.
Oh, they've put a lot into this thing. The fact that you can climb almost everything.
Yeah, that's the one thing that like looking from the outside perspective, having not played, that I hear people say that like once you've played this where you can climb everything, it's hard to go back to a game where, you know, there's invisible walls where you can't climb this or whatever.
Yeah.
I can see how that is a thing that if I were to play it, I would probably be like, oh, this is amazing. Every game franchise needs to adopt this ability. I could totally see that.
And like, not that this is true, but it feels like there's nowhere you can't go. Like if you have the stamina, because you work off stamina when you're climbing, and you can work up your stamina as you go throughout the game. If you have enough stamina, it feels like you can literally go wherever you need to be. Like if it's like, dang, I got to get to the other side of this mountain, but I got to go all the way around. It's like, nah, Doc, up and over, baby. Find you a cliff halfway up and rest and keep going the rest of the way. And that's helped immensely in this game, because when you're like, I don't know how to get there, you're like, well, I'll just climb. You're like, hup, 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 hup. You know, just climb up the mountain. So anyway.
Although I don't like the idea of stamina. I hate stamina in games.
Man.
This is a video game. I don't want to have a stamina. I want to be
exactly. I was like, let me
sprint everything.
I'm about to disappoint myself with stamina in 2 days. I don't need to be disappointing myself in a video game when it comes to stamina.
Exactly.
Like, Chris, when that thing first set off, when you first run and you see how short you can run, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, I cannot stand that.
Yeah.
Oh, because they start you out with very little, and you can't climb barely anything. You can't run.
And
more
Link
than
looks
like
like he's in shape, so he should be able to run a little bit further.
Yeah, and he's little like you. I would think he'd be able to go on for however long.
And I assume you figured out from the community that you don't have to drop all your stuff in an electrical storm.
Yeah, I found that out the hard way.
Got a couple comments about that.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah, just 100. There was, there's this place you can go and you can do all this stuff, and you can get this thing called the Thunder Helm or something like that. That's probably wrong as well.
Thunder Helm.
It's this thing you wear on your head, so if you're in a lightning storm, the lightning won't strike you anyway. So I've just been rocking that.
That's
thing.
nice.
That's what I'm wearing in that picture, where I'm like, I wish I didn't have this stupid helmet on. It covers your whole face almost. It comes down to like your nose. And I was like, I could have had a better outfit on for this picture, and somebody was like, go to a previous save, and I was like, it's not that important. And so, yeah, exactly.
You're like, I'm over it.
Yeah, I've already moved on 7 seconds from then. So
that's right.
But that Thunder helmet or whatever it is,
Thunderdome.
Yeah, exactly. The Thunderdome I'm wearing keeps the lightning away, so I'm not worried about the lightning anymore.
Nice.
All right. Everybody buckle up.
Bring it.
I don't even know who should go first. Tim, you want to go first?
Yeah, I don't really know where to start. I'll start with before. Before this whole adventure happened, it's been
Chris,
a good
grab
week.
A coffee
Wait.
and a sandwich.
Yeah, everybody go.
I do have my coffee.
Go to the bathroom if you have to go to the bathroom. Sit down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling this car over. We're
That's
going all
right.
the way to Florida.
We're going all the way. So Piper's topic of the week is kind of all over the place, just because what a week
Sweeping
it's been.
the Blackhawks. Is it sweeping
that's
the
Blackhawks?
pretty
related?
much it. Yes, Predators are in the second round. We start our first game against the Blues.
I didn't know we would sweep.
Tonight nobody did. So I was at that game 4. That was right the night before I left for San Francisco, and it was just a glorious night, and everybody, we had a good time. My buddy Ryan, who works over at Ribbo, he's got tickets, and he's like, hey, I got an extra one for game 4 if you want to go. And I said, absolutely.
So you sent Piper with him?
Yeah, right. No, Piper was upset that she couldn't go. She was.
Of course she was.
So I kind of deflected all that and said, hey, during the intermission, I will go over to where they have a intermission report, and Terry Crisp is there doing commentary and all that stuff. And there's usually a crowd behind him. So I tried to get back there so that she could try and see me on TV and all that fun stuff. But yeah, the game was fun. Freaking great. These Predators are looking really good. This series against the Blues is going to be a lot more evenly matched, because they have a good goaltender and a good defense. We have a great goaltender and a good defense. So it's going to I'm very curious how this one's going to turn out. So it's been really cool. So
That's
I
awesome.
did.
Playoff hockey is a lot of fun.
It really is. It's very exciting. That place was super loud. I mean,
I bet.
they turned up everything in there, and the crowd, we all got these yellow stand with us towels that you would wave, and man, during the TV timeouts, like when they would bring you back, like the place was just roaring. It was awesome.
Hockey's one of those things that seems like it never disappoints. Like, I only watch NASCAR for the car wrecks, and I only watch hockey for the fights. And every now and then I'll watch some NASCAR and be like, oh man, what happened to the wreck?
Right.
But I've never watched hockey and been like, oh man, nobody fought.
Yeah.
No, it's even better.
Somebody getting punched.
There's so many other aspects of it that make it really fun to watch anyway. And actually going to a game is so much better than just watching it on TV.
It is amazing.
Because it's so fast. It's so fast paced. Just all the different sounds, like of the puck, and just when guys like get crunched into the glass, like you feel that. If you're close to it, it's like, oh, that was a hit.
Yeah,
that was one heck of a hit.
That was their whole body up against that thing.
So it was great. So I did that Thursday night, and then woke up early and drove myself to the airport because I got to meet my boy Ed Placencia out in San Francisco.
Jealous like a mug.
And that's it. That's all I got.
Wow.
That's all
what
I
a climax.
No, so we actually we connect in Denver, and we both got on the same flight, Denver to San Francisco. So we got to Denver and was able to connect, and it was awesome. So, and just from there, we just started talking on the flight, and it was a good hang. Get to San Fran, hop on an Uber. Our boy Jorge was clearly hangry because he said he'd only had a protein shake in the morning, and like was driving like New York maniac style. It was amazing.
No way, dude.
Oh, he was power moving everything, and he's like, man, we were like, have you eaten anything? He's like, no, I'm like, after this, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'm like, yeah, I think you should. I was almost like, hey, why don't we stop at a McDonald's on the way?
I'm like, you work for yourself. You're an Uber. Like, just turn it off for a minute and go get something to eat.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So, so we stayed in this place, Mill Valley, which is right.
You stayed in Mill Valley?
We stayed in Mill Valley, yeah.
Where?
Right in off of Palma Road.
That's where I'm from. That's where I lived.
We know. That's your Graceland. And
oh my gosh, did you see? Did you see the Safeway?
We saw a Target. We saw where
it's the only grocery store in Mill Valley.
There's like pretty much. There's like a Whole Foods, like a natural grocery store that
over
we
by
passed,
the Bank of America and stuff.
I think so.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's all good.
I grew up across the street from the Safeway.
Did you see Mildred? Was she still standing over there?
Exactly.
Yeah, right? Is she still
She's
there?
one telephone pole? That corner store? Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
And
my gosh, I can't believe you guys stayed in Mill Valley.
Yeah,
what a
man.
sleepy little town. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was nice. Zero cell service.
Did you go downtown?
Zero. No, we didn't have enough time.
Not downtown Mill Valley. No, we just went there to the Airbnb and left.
Yeah, and Ed, by the way, feel free to chime in. Like, I feel like we should just work off of one another on this.
Yeah.
So we got to the Airbnb, and it was just basically somebody's basement, which is totally cool. Like books and CDs and stuff on one wall with a big flat screen TV, and then there was a pull-out couch and a bed in the corner. There was a washer and dryer in the corner somewhere, and then a bathroom. That's all we needed. It was perfect. Yes. And we look down, and the first thing I see when I look in there's at least some sort of a gaming console, and it was an Xbox 360. So we were like, sweet.
Yeah.
So seriously, drop our bags. I go over there and look at all the different games they had. They had a Nintendo GameCube, and we were like, we don't know anything about this. Let's move on. And then
that was hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, we were like, all right, well, let's ask the community if we should play any of these, and of course we did not play a single one.
No,
right.
But I noticed they had Black Ops 2, they had GTA 4, a little bit older games, and then there it was, Far Cry 4, and I'm like, I think we should play this again. And so we basically were like, okay, we will play this when we come back. We've got other things that we want to do, like eat and do all this other, and just kind of explore the area. So we grabbed an Uber, went down to Sausalito, and it was at 5-ish by the time we did all that 5, and man, they pulled the sidewalks in Sausalito. It was a ghost town. We're like walking like, is there anything open?
On a Friday afternoon,
on a
5 o'clock.
Friday afternoon.
Wow.
5 o'clock, dead. Like,
Yeah.
it was weird.
Everybody went across that bridge.
Sausalito, well, yeah,
Exactly.
Sausalito just confused me the entire weekend. I'm like, what? Because like Franklin even stays open till 9 at least, and there's stuff to do.
Yeah, it's sleepy, man. It's sleepy on that side of the bridge. I'm telling you.
It was very sleepy, but we did find an awesome taco place, the Sausalito Taco Shop. We had some salsa, some burritos, and just a really amazing time. And then what did we do that night, Ed? Nothing, right? We just walked around.
we just walked around Sausalito a little bit, and it was just a really good time to just kind of hang out, you know.
Yeah,
and we
we
walked
had
down to where the
good hang
ferry
time.
leaves and just sat there and just talked about life and just
It was in the sun. It was beautiful, man. Because like it's Bay Area. There's boom, San Francisco right there. Boom, Oakland right there. Like
Wow.
you know, we crossed the Golden Gate Bridge, and it was just it's really beautiful. And it was funny. We were saying like, man, San Francisco looks like from here like a ton of Legos were just dropped on it. And then there's a couple sky rises, but it's spread out, and it just looks. It was just weird. It was cool, and so yeah, we chatted for a little while, and then went back to the place, and we fired up. Did we fire up Far Cry that night, or did we just crash? No, we just
crashed. I think
we
It
crashed
was
that
Far
night.
Cry 4?
Far Cry 4.
I
on
didn't
the
realize that was
360.
on 360.
And it looked good.
Interesting.
It looked really good. So got up Saturday, and then man, it was the Ed Placencia coffee tour for San
that was
Francisco.
so much fun.
So we were out there for
Pineapple Wall.
yeah,
exactly.
You better believe that. Better believe that pineapple war. So we were out there for a 2-day weekend seminar on intro to voice acting and voiceover work. And as you all know, Ed had discussed it back in December. He went to just one 3-hour course, came back and raved about it. And shortly after that podcast, I had called Ed and just was like asking him more questions. And after 45 minutes to an hour, we're like, all right, when's the next one? I'll go with you. I think it would be amazing. I've always wanted to just, experiment with it. And I've always loved voice acting in itself. I appreciate voice acting just with every video game. Gabe, you're the same way. Chris, you're the same way. We appreciate it. And it's just, so I was like, man, I have no agenda here, but I just want to go, and it'll be a good hang, and, we'll have fun, and we'll learn something out of it. So it's a 2-day class. It's weird days too. It's not like a Friday and Saturday. It was a 6 to 9 on Saturday, and a 10 to 5 on Sunday. Wow. And just that flew. Like the entire time, it absolutely flew. So we had all day Saturday. So we just went into the great city of San Francisco. We Ubered in there, and we started in this Union Street area. Yep. And we went and got some coffee at Wrecking Ball, and that's where the pineapple wall was. Had probably one of the greatest lattes of my life. It was the latte Mexican food tour of San Francisco, I think.
It really was, yep.
Ed knew all the spots that he wanted to go to, and I was like, Ed, just tell me, man, what spot we need to go to. Lead the way, because I'm right there with you. And we had a great time. So we were in Union Street for a little while, and then took an Uber over to Ubisoft and got our picture in front of Ubisoft. That
was awesome. Yeah,
it was so cool to see that. It was just like, it's so great that it's right there. And as we were driving by, we were right along the shore, down because Ubisoft is down by AT&T Park, and or Stadium or whatever you call it. And as we're driving down in our Uber, we noticed that right near the ferry building, it's Earth Day, and there's a March for Science rally happening. I'm like, oh, well, we have to crash that later. So that
was awesome.
We had little
crazy.
mental notes of, hey, we need to go back here. Hey, we need to go back here. But we passed Firefox and Mozilla. We passed Google, and I'm like, I have to get my picture in front of those because that's kind of my world. And it was cool. And so we went to Ubisoft and then walked our way back toward the ferry building. And man, we crashed a rally, and it was a lot of fun. We just took our picture, and it was just all kinds of crazy people everywhere. And
San Francisco will not disappoint when it comes to that kind of stuff.
It does not. No, it does not.
They mean all the things.
Ed and I are very similar in that we love to people watch. So that city is a fantastic fantastic, just like New York is a fantastic people watching city.
Yeah, it is.
So we just walked around everywhere, went into Union Square, grabbed a lemonade, and just sat for 30, 45 minutes and just talked and people watched, and it was just really cool, man. The hills of San Francisco are awesome. They will get your legs a-working, that is for sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so those pictures of us going down the hill in kind of that Monty Python style was awesome, Ed. That was a great idea. And we went up Nob Hill and kind of walked around there. And then what am I missing in between, Ed? I feel like
we kind of walked all over. We hit up Chinatown. We hit up the fancy area with the ritzy stores and what have you.
Oh yeah.
And
right around Union Square, there's a Ritz there, and you know what's funny? Didn't even see an Apple store. Now that I think about it, I don't even think we passed. I knew where it was because it was on Google Maps, but we just didn't. We actually physically did not see the Apple store, an Apple store anywhere. And it's just probably where we were and where we were walking around. Mm-hmm. But I thought that was pretty funny. And yeah, man, we were walking, went back to we got tickets for the ferry to go back to Sausalito in time for our class that evening at 6. And so we just hung out at the ferry building, had some more Mexican food, and people watched for a while, then hopped on the ferry and then and went back to Sausalito. And we had a little bit of some time, so we just kind of hung out. And then boom, right into the class. And it was really, really cool. I had so much fun doing it. And they throw you right into it. It was, walk into a room, it was 3 rows of 3 seats. We had a total of 12 people in our class. There's an engineer. There's an engineer in the front with 2 monitors, a mixer, and then the instructor, who was Louisa McIntosh, who played Sarah in Telltale's Walking Dead Season 2.
That is insane.
Wow.
Yeah. She was awesome. The engineer, Gary, was awesome. Has an amazing voice. His voice reminds me of a little George Takei, like Star Trek kind of.
Mm-hmm. You say George Costanza.
Yeah, but they were just really cool. And so we went around, we all introduced ourselves to one another. We were the only 2 out-of-towners. It is more of a local spot. It's a local school for like the Bay Area. Everybody was like, "You came from where?" And we were like, "Yeah,
for this."
For this. So, and we were all like confidently, "Yes, absolutely."
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. after the intros, she's like, "All right, pair up, go." And I think Ed, were we first or second? I can't remember.
We were first.
Yeah, we were the first ones up. And because I was just like, "Hey, let's do this," and he's like, "All right, let's." We were talking about it all day. We're like time was slowing down. We're like, "This can't come soon enough." We were just getting so excited for it. So right off the bat, they put us in the booth, set up mics, everything, and then Louisa was like, "All right, Ed, you're in a sauna, and you're just kind of hanging out and kind of enjoying the sweat. And Tim, you walk in your birthday suit. Go." And that's how. Wow. And we totally had to ad lib just like that. And they record your voice, and we just kind of knocked it out, and then went back to our seats, and then everybody did that as well. And
that is awesome.
It was like, talk about just getting right into it, and then a couple other ones where they would give you scripts from like previous 60 or 30-second radio spots or TV spots, and Ed and I made a point to not stay paired the whole time. We wanted to pair up with other people.
Yeah, branch off.
We just met some really cool people along the way. Big shout out to Jeremy. We told him about our podcast. He's a gamer and a dad, and like that night when he was driving back, he started listening to our previous episode. So big shout out to him if he's still listening. And it's totally cool. Exactly. And there was it was such a diverse group of people too. I mean, there was a woman there who was a little bit older, from, was it Argentina or Venezuela?
Argentina.
Argentina.
She came way further than you guys.
I know.
She lives in the Bay Area, but whatever. Voice sounded just like Selma Hayek. It was amazing. And then it was a wide range of people. There was a social worker that came, and everybody was just like, I've always been interested in it, or people have said I've had a great voice, and so I just everybody was just in this exploratory phase, and I think by the end of it, everybody was like, this is really incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there was a social worker, somebody who worked for the government. There was a an industrial engineer there who was a little bit older. There was a yoga instructor. There was there was so many different people, and everybody was so cool with one another. Everybody was encouraging. Like any nerves that you may have had were pretty much out the window within like the first hour, because it was a warm, hey, we're just all here to learn. And Louisa was an amazing instructor in she never really critiqued you. She's like, all right, that was great, but let's do this way. And the way that she would throw you in, and you really have to, she called it acting on a dime. Like you have to take direction, but she helps you and eases it by kind of setting you up with the scenario. So like you would do one take of something, and then she's like, okay, now Tim, here's your situation. You've had a long day. You've had this, and this. Like she sets up all these different scenarios, and it's amazing how your voice changes when you're thinking that way. And that was kind of the whole point of this whole class, is like getting to know different aspects of how vocal tones change the entire direction of whatever it is that you have to voice over for. So that, so that was, and I got all that just on a Saturday night for 3 hours, and we didn't even get to Sunday yet. So after class on Saturday, went to this great little sushi place, hung out, came back, and that's when we started playing a little Far Cry 4. And I'm like, man, this game's great. And we just kind of went back and forth. Ed took a few missions, I took a few missions, and then we just kind of crashed. And then got up and went back, and then we had our class all day until 5, and we were just on cloud 9, man, the whole time. It was just so fun. There was all these different ways of like we all got our voices recorded. We did monologues, we did group stuff, we did just pairs, and that's my kind of learning. Just learn by doing. And just, I love that they have it. There was barely any lecture. Like we didn't watch anything. It was just like, go. And it was just fun listening to everybody else's voice. There were so many voices there. One guy, he's a younger dude, just has the voice of James Earl Jones, which is, it was the most unbelievable voice. Just
dark. 115-pound white guy?
No, he was just this amazing kid. And just had this amazing voice, but like he would have his own challenges because his voice is so authoritative. Like Louisa was really focusing him on getting his voice to be warmer and just more inviting, and it works. Like it was just awesome, just so much fun. So like Sunday evening, what did we do? What did we do after that class?
After
after the all day on Sunday,
we went back to the city and went to Mario's.
Yes,
pizza
we did.
Place.
Yeah, so we Ubered, and our Uber driver was a woman from New Orleans, and she's been living in San Francisco for a while, and so we were just picking her brain. Hey, where are we going? We were going to go to like the Fisherman's Wharf, Ghirardelli Square area. That's like the touristy area, and so she dropped us off there. But she's like, hey, if you want, walk down a few blocks to Columbus Street and then head on up toward like the Italian area. And I'm like, hey, I'm in. That sounds great. And then she told us about this place called Mario's Smokehouse, Cigar House and Cafe. And we were like, oh, this sounds incredible. So we found it. Total.
That sounds like somebody from New Orleans would tell you to go.
Yeah, right. Total hole in the wall place. We sat up to the bar and had probably some of the best Italian. I had the most amazing meat lasagna. It was made by the dude right in front of us in these two little ovens that were right there. The guy was touching all of the different dishes. His hands must have been so callous. He has no feeling in them. And he just prepared this amazing meal. We had cappuccinos, and we just sat and were just like reflecting on the day. It was amazing. We Ubered back to the place, and then we played Far Cry 4, and I stayed up. I pulled an Ed, and he crashed. I stayed up till 2:30 in the morning playing Far Cry 4 because I had to get my grenade launcher back so I can hear the and it was absolutely glorious. I got it, and then I was like, I'm done. This is great, and went to bed. And then got up, and then we got to the airport, and then we had to part ways. And then
I'm so sorry.
And now I'm back. And now it's back to exactly. Now it's back to reality. But man, it was just. I'm sure I'm missing so many things, but it was. First off, it was just a great hang to be with my boy Ed. He was here for 200 and he stayed with us at the house, but we connected, of course, but like this was just one-on-one time with my boy.
That's awesome.
Just having a really great time. He got to see my crazy life with Piper and Lauren. He was on FaceTime with us all the time, so he was a part of our family, and it was just
that's great.
Yeah, it was just great. Like Piper wanted
Piper's
to see,
like, first the Predators game and now this.
Oh yeah, she was
leaving me
no,
out
but she's like
Right.
every time I FaceTime, she's like, "Where's Mr. Ed?" And so she wanted to see where Mr. Ed was, and yeah, she
awesome.
loves her Mr. Ed. Like even yesterday, we were like singing in the car, and she was like, "Mr. Ed, Mr. Ed." It was hilarious. So it was just great, man, and just getting to know him a lot more was really that was priceless in and of itself. So the
Crazy
cool
Jenny
thing
does the same thing. I'm like, what is it with you and Mr. Ed?
He has his that way.
Yeah,
The cool thing about this is after this class we do get they're sending out the next list of classes for the second half of the year, and they should be coming out the end of this week. The great thing about this school is that based on all of that, they evaluate each and every one of us. So we don't get to keep any of the recordings. And they keep it all, which is fine. It's an intro course. You get to keep a lot of yours, as you advance throughout in more intermediate courses and that kind of stuff. But the amazing thing is that we'll get an evaluation from the actual person who started this whole school. Her name's Samantha Paris. Well-known, very well-established voice actor and talent agent as well. And she kind of takes the time with all of her students to read what the instructors have said, listen probably to some of your voices, and then she evaluates you and tells you where she thinks you should go next in the
interesting.
in the next phase of what you want to do. And the first thing Ed and I said as soon as we came back is, all right, when we came out of that class, we're like, all right, when are we coming back? So this is going to be something that I think we're going to keep doing for a while because it was just so great and so much fun.
And was it so different for you, Router, from like your regular life? Like you don't do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't get to do anything.
A lot of that stuff.
And it was so like I wasn't nervous. I was nervous, excited every time I went into that booth. I just had so much. I walk out of there when my session was done. And she was like, "This is great, great job." Like she didn't have a whole lot to say about me, which is fine. Like I wasn't looking for anything, and she was just saying that was great. And you come out, and I kept saying that was so much fun. Like that was so
awesome.
Just to be somebody else, to just kind of. It was just there was something about it. It was just so much fun. And if anything happens along the way and I get to do things like this, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. I'm having so much fun with it, and I'd go back in a heartbeat. So it was
sick.
Yeah, it was just great, and just being able to listen to Ed too was awesome. Like it was just fun. It was just
the master.
It was just so much fun. And I think if you guys want to, we should do an MTTG one because Gabe, I think you would love it, and Chris, I think you would love it too. I think because we're all. We all do this podcast all the time. Just to go and to hear other people and to kind of experience something like that, I think that would be a fun thing to do, and we would all be able to hang in San Fran together. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, I know this class is focused mostly around like voice in particular and training your voice and all these different things.
Yeah.
But outside of that specific aspect, it just sounds like an improv class.
Sort of.
And I've done a lot of that kinds of stuff, like because I studied acting for a long time because I thought for a good while I was wanting to pursue that and maybe make that my career, and I kind of changed path and got more involved in the behind the scenes stuff and realized, there's a whole world out here that is just as fascinating.
Yep.
So all that kinds of stuff to some extent is kind of part of my wheelhouse anyways. I used to love that. I haven't done anything like that in years.
I think you would love it, man. I absolutely think you would.
And I love the area too. Like I didn't grow up there, but I've been to San Francisco twice, and I've tripped out to Sausalito one of the times I was there, and the whole area is beautiful. So,
it is. It's
really,
gorgeous.
Yeah, it really is.
There's a lot of people though, Doc. Jeez,
Yeah,
Louise.
there are a lot of people. I mean, we had great weather though. I mean, it didn't rain. It was just cloudy like on a Saturday, but then the sun came out, and it was great. So
That's
Ed, thank
awesome.
you, man. Thanks for like just the hang and just when we had that conversation back in December, like we've been looking forward to this for so long, and it's come and gone, and now it's like, all right, what's our next adventure? Like we're already I think we're hook, line, and sinker on this one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you get into play anything once you got home?
No, but the first thing we said was, "Dang man, I got to play some Watch Dogs 2 now because like all of the places." Ed was comparing a lot of the places that we were at. He's like, "Yeah, you have to play so you can see where we were at." And he actually showed me a screen grab of one place that we were at, and I'm like, "Oh, we were just there. That's amazing." So now I really want to play Watch Dogs 2. So I think that's going to be on deck for me. I haven't been able to play much just because I'm getting back in the swing of things, but yeah, it's awesome.
Good.
Over to you, Ed. Did I miss anything? Feel free to continue on.
I mean, well, I woke up on Thursday. No, I'm just.
Go. Start from there.
One of the things I took away that I was like, I've got to tell Gabe about this is just the fact, and it can apply to anything that you do, really. And Louisa called it stinking thinking, where we can get in our heads, and that's why they didn't give us copies of the audio, because she's like, you're beginners.
Yeah.
You don't need to listen to this and say, this is what I did wrong, because you don't have the ear yet to really to hear and direct yourself.
Right.
And at one point she said, now we're going to listen to everyone's, and I don't want to critique each other. I just want to talk about what you did well and how you can make it better. And I was like, that's a great lesson,
really interesting,
for anything you do, because we always have the tendency to focus on the negative. And instead, whatever you're working on, just say, what did I do well and how can I make it better?
Yeah.
And that'll put you in a whole different headspace as you move on.
It works too. Totally works.
Yeah, it really does. I was able to go a couple weeks ago down to Indianapolis to see Gabe at his show and kind of hang out for a bit. And I had this weekend with Tim. And so, Chris, I'm due for my one-on-one with you, man.
I know, right?
Seriously.
Gosh. What the heck? You got to make this happen.
We'll let you guys have some time at E3.
That's right.
We get to LA.
Ed's on the NTTG tour.
Well, it's now time for... We'll do it like the Bachelor. Be like, well, it's time for Ed and Chris's private date.
It's for their date. Yep.
I'm so
cameras, please go with them too.
Yeah.
Right. I'm very similar to you in like I've taken a few vacations. Like the first time I went to San Francisco, I went by myself. Now I had friends that lived there. That's who I stayed with. But it was every day it was like a Wednesday through a Saturday. So I only got to spend that one Saturday with my friends actually going around and doing things. So since I was there and they had to work, I just walked the city by myself, like stopping in different restaurants, talking to people, like talking to people on Twitter, meeting people and be like, hey, what should I do? I'm in San Francisco, and people answering me and like going to places they suggested. I met one person that I didn't even know. I just met them on Twitter. They gave me a cool suggestion and was like, oh yeah, I'm over here working at the shop. And so I stopped by and said hi and just took pictures.
Isn't that amazing?
Like that kind of stuff, just roaming around is something I love to do. So, and I know that you tend to do that stuff a lot too, Ed. So I mean, I think we would just mesh perfectly in exploring a city or something. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's what we kept saying. Like, this is the way to do it. No agenda, just explore the city. And that's exactly what we did. And man, shoot, we walked 10 miles on Saturday.
We
walked
Y'all walked
everywhere.
into the water and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, that was funny.
5Ks.
We did,
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks for making me feel like a failure already.
Yeah. No,
but they only walked it. They only walked it.
We walked it.
That's right.
That's right. Running. I got you.
But after we got home, as soon as I landed, I don't know if it was something in the airplane or what, but as soon as I got off of the plane and into the car, I felt a sore throat coming on and was like, oh man.
Well, you know what? If it's going to happen, that's the time for it to happen.
Exactly.
On the
Apart
trip.
from all the talking, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you're talking in class, you're talking with Router, you know what I'm saying? You guys are...
That could very well be it.
Y'all are spooning at night.
And it's a lot of airport time.
That spooning will give you a sore throat every time.
Seriously.
I know, right? I should have been the big spoon. So apologies in advance, Gabe, for all of the throat clearings you're going to have to cut out of this podcast.
It's all good.
Since I've been home, I've pretty much just been playing Persona 5.
Nice.
Did you miss it while you were gone?
I did until I started playing balls.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
Someone was like, I bet you wish you had a portable thing now. I was like, well, I do. It's called a phone, and now I'm going to play balls. So
that's awesome.
But so I think I just hit the 60-hour mark and just still having a great time, loving it. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that that's pretty much the weekend for me. Kind of the same, pretty much the same thing as Tim. Just replay it again and act like it's me talking, and you'll get the same thing.
I'm trying to think if I left anything out that you can expand on, but I
don't think you did.
It's just good hang time, man. It's good bro time, just hanging out. And
it really did make me look forward to E3. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to be out here with these guys.
I am super excited.
Yeah, we mentioned that a few times.
And it's just going to be just beyond fun then too. And anytime you got some one-on-one time, and it's just awesome, and it's a lot of fun.
And you don't take many trips away from the family either, Router. So it's probably such a different thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, Lauren takes trips annually because, like, this next month is the stationery show up in New York, and so and she does the gift show in August and such. So I don't really do, unless there's actual business trips. I don't really do a whole lot of trips like this, and it was great.
Good. That's probably good for you on so many different levels. Man.
No, it is. I mean, I definitely miss my family, but I was still talking to them, and I just wanted to make sure that I got some good time with Ed, and I also wanted to make sure that Ed's included in my crazy life with my family anyway, and because he's part of the family too, because Piper's obsessed with him, so I had every time I called and/or FaceTime, it was always, "Where's Mr. Ed? Where's Mr. Ed?"
You're like,
so it's like, "Oh, hi, I'm your father. Nice to see you too."
Yeah,
but
it wasn't for me.
she was super sweet, and it was just great. But yeah, and like when I got back, they were I drove up to the driveway, and Lauren and Piper were outside waiting for me, and she just comes running up, gives me a big old hug, "Daddy!" And it was just great.
That's
it was
awesome.
Just a lot of fun.
That's
it
good.
was really cool.
That's nice.
Oh,
good feeling. Yeah,
good stuff,
so
you guys.
We got to do it again.
Man.
It's going to be fun. San Fran conquered. Done.
Yeah,
checked off.
You got the platinum trophy.
I think we got at least a bronze for the walk time, 10 miles plus.
Exactly.
And then probably like a silver for people watching.
Rode in 10 Ubers, bronze trophy.
Yeah. We got some sort of a bronze Uber trophy, that's for sure. But man, that was super convenient too, because there's people everywhere.
Yeah,
we also picked up the rare trophy for spotting overweight nude guys protesting. So we got that one.
There was a guy naked.
What were they protesting? Down with clothes.
That's the
They
thing.
didn't even have
no idea.
They had no signs or anything.
There was
they were
no
just
signs.
hanging out. And I was like, I thought they had Speedos on, and as we got closer, I was like, oh no, they're just there.
Yeah, we're in San Francisco, baby.
Yeah,
they were on the other side of the street where the March for Science was. So it was Earth Day on Saturday, so who knows?
Check
but
out
there was
this
no
science. Biology.
Exactly, right. So
they blinded me with science, that's for sure.
They certainly did. Yeah, Ed and I were both like, "Oh, hey, all right." Yes, they did blind us with science.
He blinded me with science. That's funny.
That was good, man.
Oh man,
perfect.
Good job. All right, Router. I know you just did a lot of talking, but you still got it.
I got it.
Well, let's do it.
Mr. Patillo.
Yeah?
You must know that on Friday, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Comes
out. He's trying to get excited.
I'm trying.
It's
not the day yet.
Least energetic. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. So his mind is on this 5K. Once that 5K is done, then you go get you go
hopefully
home.
You'll be playing Mario Kart during the 5K. Maybe
there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Exciting.
So Mario Kart 8 this Friday comes out. We also have for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4 Outlast 2.
No.
Gabe needs to play that.
Come on, Gabe. Come on.
We got a little Titanfall 2 DLC.
That's all you, Gabe. That's all you.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's none of me.
Titanfall 2, A Glitch in the Frontier. Little DLC action for the PC, PS4, Xbox One. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands DLC, Narco Road for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4. For the PS4 and PC, What Remains of Edith Finch. GameSpot gave this a 9.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of good things about this. I was interested beforehand, but I was like, I don't really know. And then it's getting a lot of good praise.
Yeah, the collection of short stories about a cursed family in Washington State.
Is it a walking simulator pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's by the same people who made Unfinished Swan, or what is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, the black and white one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
where you can
Unfinished Swan.
shoot the ink and it reveals the world. Yeah, they made that game. This is I think their second
nice.
one exclusive for Sony.
Interesting. Very cool.
Nice. That's awesome.
Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 for the PS4, Xbox One, PC. Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment for the 3DS and PS4. Siberia 3 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Siberia 3.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the same Siberia that was on Sega, like way
An immersive adventure experience awaits patient fans of the 2002 series, Siberia, with the third installment finally being unveiled.
Wow.
There you have it.
That's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got some MPD for March, so let's get into it.
Oh, look at that.
We had half of it last week because they had Nintendo had their press release about how their sales went gangbuster, and the month of March did not disappoint. Total video game spending, which includes hardware, software, and accessories, had a stellar month in spending thanks to the release of the Nintendo Switch and new titles including Ghost Recon Wildlands, Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah.
Nintendo returning to the market also put a finger in a leaking dam, as this was the first time after 9 straight months that total physical game sales did not decline year over year.
Wow.
Here we go. Hardware up 91% from March of 20.
I bet.
Wow.
$485 million. Console software, $612 million, up 5%. PC software, $29 million. That was actually down 25%. And accessories was up 9%.
Yep.
Top 10 video games. Here we go. Number 10, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Number 9, Nier Automata.
Yeah.
Number 8, NBA 2K17. Number 7, For Honor. Number 6, gosh, GTA 5. Holy cow.
Wow.
Yep.
Number 5, MLB The Show. Number 4, Horizon Zero Dawn. Stays in that top 5.
Oh, good.
Number 3, Mass Effect Andromeda. Slightly disappointing debut for that. Number 2, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You would think that would be number 1 because number 1, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands beat them out.
Wow.
So
really?
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. So I think what will be interesting to see is the longevity of Breath of the Wild for the next couple months. So when we get April MPD, I'm curious where everything changed. For Honor had a really good February, and it's staying in the top 10 at number 7. But now I'm curious. And Horizon came out in February too, didn't it? Or was that March? Yeah, it came out in February.
Yeah, I think it came out towards the end of February.
Toward the end, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it did.
I could be wrong.
Or mid February, somewhere around there. But I'm always curious to see what titles kind of have that longevity, and it's nice to see Horizon up there. Mass Effect debuts at number 3. I'm curious how that's going to be next month. Just given all the
I wonder if people were a little
just
kind of like us. I mean, we're Mass Effect fans, and none of us went and got it.
I have not.
Right.
I have not purchased it, and I'm just not there yet. I'm not at that.
Right.
No, I need to play it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Exactly.
But we had one oops, and it was pretty much my fault. At Fuzzhead23, Octopus have 8 arms. It used to be 8 wins to win the Stanley Cup back when there were just 6 teams in the 50s and 60s. So I don't know the whole. So yeah, I know they have 8 arms. I just didn't know. I thought that the Octopus was because Detroit has won more over 8 Stanley Cups in the past, but whatever. I don't know all the hockey lore. So thank you for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, there we go.
And that is it.
There we go.
Back to you for the news. Go.
Yeah. Chris McCracken.
Gabe Patillo.
We're going to start out with some Married to the Games news.
Yes.
Oh.
Bring it.
Up in here. We got a little different situation going on. We're kind of crossing a threshold, if you may. You want to break it down for the people?
Me?
Yeah.
I totally was expecting you to take the lead on this. My bad.
I can take the lead on it too, baby.
Go for it, man. You're the one
Somebody
talking.
take the lead on it.
Team this thing. Married to the Games.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
Married to the Games is we're finally on Patreon.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
We've had a lot of questions since Patreon's kind of risen in popularity about, hey, where can I go? Where's the Married to the Games Patreon? We've had multiple people ask us where the Married to the Games Patreon is, and we'll tell you exactly where it is. Patreon.com/MTTG. Go support your boys. We're hopping up there. We've got 2 tiers right now. We didn't want to get too crazy with it. We want to stay in our lane and give you guys our best. And so go check it out, man. Patreon.com/MTTG. We appreciate it. You guys have always been an amazing support for the podcast.
Yes.
And we know that you will continue to do that. And obviously, Patreon or not, you support this show just by listening and by rating us on iTunes and things like that. And
checking out YouTube and all that kinds of stuff.
There's been there's so many ways that you guys have supported the show over the years, and so this is another one for you guys. So go check it out. It's a little nerve-wracking for me, and I think the rest of the guys.
A little bit.
We are perfectionists when it comes to this show, and we want to continue to deliver the best that we can for you guys. And
yeah, man, it's gonna be great.
We're launching today, and so we're excited to be doing that and to be able to have turn a page on Married to the Games. Nothing's changing.
No,
by the way,
not at all.
Nothing's changing.
Yeah,
we don't want to act like now that we have the Patreon, all this is changing. That's not the case. We are still here. We're still here every Friday. So go.
You must pay to enjoy us.
Exactly. Right.
This is not a paywall for you to enjoy the spoils of Married to the Games.
Not at all, man.
No.
Yeah.
Oh
Here's the thing. It's been
that.
4 years, man, and we just want to continue to progress. We have such an amazing community. I want to keep seeing this grow. I want to keep seeing this community grow because it is such an amazing example. And I talked about this with people even out in San Francisco that we met and whatever, that like our community, it's not this typical video games community and this stigma that the video games community has of these, just foul people and just really a lot of back and forth. Like this community is unlike any other and needs to be needs to grow and needs to be shared and shown to the world that, hey, there are a lot of people that love video games but also love each other and have a very a really positive time,
everything,
have each other's backs, have positive attitudes about it, and just enjoy the games for what they are worth. And we want to keep that going.
Right. And what we always kind of say off air is like we feel like we have something special here.
Yes, absolutely.
With the podcast in our community.
Yes.
And we're like, how can we get more people into the fold to be able to enjoy the same thing? Because before this, I never had a community that worked this way, and I didn't know that it could exist. Yeah. And the fact that it does, and the fact that you guys are so amazing it really is mind blowing for us. And we sit around and we get to brag on you guys all the time when we talk to people, and just know that this Patreon is as much about you guys as it is about us. And so we just want to continue to spread the message. Stand on a soapbox someplace with a megaphone and tell people about you guys and this awesome place that you guys have helped us build.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, and we've been building all this stuff, for a while, and this is just going to help build even more.
Exactly.
We just want to do what we can to grow the show organically and in the right way and at the right pace. And this keeps us or helps us from having to go down avenues that we potentially don't want to go down. So
right.
That's really kind of the at the end of the day is like we love you guys. We know you guys love us. We're always doing all this back and forth, and this is together, and we just want to build something together with a great community. Because like Gabe said, as I said kind of last week, I was talking about a news story. It's like, well, I don't know if the internet's going to freak out. It's like, well, it's the internet. They always freak out. Yeah, but not our community. Our community is smart, and our community is mature, and our community has civil discourse and all this crazy stuff that just the normal internet doesn't give you. And we just want to cultivate that and grow that even more, but keep it special like it is.
Exactly.
I love that. Well, Christopher.
Yes.
You got a news story there, brethren?
I do have a news story. So earlier we were talking about the current Overwatch, the event that's going on right now, and we talked about skins. And as Gabe has told us this time and before, he does not have much luck getting the skins to drop from them loot boxes. Well, here's a way that you can get guaranteed a couple of skins.
Ooh.
Because over there at Blizzard's other property, Heroes of the Storm is having another event. They're having the Nexus 2.0, Nexus Challenge 2.0 event. And so what you have to do is you have to play Heroes of the Storm, and the event runs for 4 weeks. You have to play at least 5 games per week, each of those weeks, and you get different things each week. So the first week, you're going to get the Oni Genji skin, which the Genji skin has been available in Overwatch before. It's the one where he's got like a mask on, has kind of like these red horns coming out. It's a really cool Genji skin, but you could only get it previously by playing Heroes of the Storm. Well, it's come back, and you can play Heroes of the Storm and earn this inside of Overwatch. On top of that,
really?
The coolest
How are they going to do that?
Well, because it's all part of Blizzard, you just link your account to, they used to call it Battle.net. I think they call it something different now. But you link up your PS4 and all those together, and it knows that when you play these games on Heroes of the Storm with a friend, it'll be like, okay, you've unlocked this, and then these different things will unlock for you on Overwatch. That's how I understand it. And they've done this before, and the Genji skin was one of the ones you could get. It's cool that they opened it back up and you can re-earn it. The coolest thing, though, in my opinion, is they're bringing out a new Diva skin, and she's a police officer. So her mech is dressed up like a police car. It has the lights on it, and she's got this policeman outfit on. It looks so cool. There's a trailer. You guys need to go look it up and check it out because it just looks totally awesome. And on top of that, if you play all the way through the 4 weeks, the 5 games per week, you also get 10 free loot boxes.
What?
Wow.
So you get 10 loot boxes, and you get the Diva skin, and you get some Diva sprays and whatnot, and you get the Genji skin if you play at least 5 games per week through each weeks of this Nexus 2 challenge.
Ooh.
And now, I've not played Heroes of the Storm. My buddy Kale has. And when I saw this, I messaged him. I was like, Kale, teach me. Help me get this skin. I must have this Diva skin.
And
it looks so cool.
Skins.
Easily the coolest
Can we
skin.
learn together? Can we learn together, Chris?
I'm all about it. Yeah, let's go figure it out. Because
I'm serious.
I'm me too. The only thing is I was like,
No,
okay,
I'm for real, Chris.
I'm for real.
I'm just joking.
Chris hasn't
I
even
asked
taken
him, I
a
was like-
breath yet. He's so excited.
I know.
I know, right?
He said, well, you're going to have to play so many games. I was like, okay, that's no big deal. And I was like,
And done.
"What?" And then I paused for a minute. I was like, wait, so are the games like 20, 30 minutes a piece? He's like, yeah, they can be. I was like, oh, okay, now I kind of see the challenge. But still, you got a week to play 5 matches, and you get free stuff in Overwatch. I'm down. I'm going to install it, and I'm going to give it a go. I got to figure out what this is
downloading Heroes
about.
of the Storm right now.
Well, I'm not downloading it now, but I'm going to after the show.
'Cause I fell off that. I fell off League of Legends hard, boy.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about a MOBA, how they work. I don't know nothing. It's like, and I don't even care. I don't even care to win. I just want to play the game and get the skins.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
The loot
Get your
boxes.
time in.
You doggone right. I'm putting my time in the next month. You said it's a month, or how long is it ago?
4 weeks.
Yeah, I'm home for the next 4 weeks. Let's do that thing.
Absolutely.
I love that. Nice.
Good deal.
So there's a new, I guess, software coming out called Rainway. And their tagline is play your favorite games on any device. And so what they're trying to accomplish is streaming PC games to anything. Kind of like what PS Now was wanting to be, where they're like, you can play these games wherever you have a screen, which feels like they've fallen off that a bit. But this is trying to do that with PC games. And the developer said on Reddit, which I thought was bold, because people were talking about streaming games, and this guy was saying he was streaming The Witcher 3 on his Samsung S8 Plus. And somebody was like, what software? He's like, I'm using Moonlight. And this guy said, I'm building Rainway, which will work on all GPUs and have support for streaming to your web browser, phone, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. And they were like, is Nintendo on board with this idea, or will users have to find a workaround? And he said it will be available in the eShop. That is big news.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch. That you'd be able to stream your PC games on it. And that just obviously, like just to the infinite power opens up things that you'd be able to play on your Switch from your bed. And so I don't love streaming stuff like this. I've not had great luck with PS Now. I've got pretty good internet, but it's just, especially with the Twitch response stuff, it always seems laggy. But this is a new company. So if you go to rainway.io, they just have kind of a holding screen there with a bunch of games being played in the background. It says coming soon. No additional hardware needed. Any GPU that supports DirectX 11 can take advantage of the Rainway protocol, is what they say. So we'll see, man. I will definitely be. They said they're starting a beta next month. I don't see a sign up for that. I will be signing up for that, whatever it's available. But I mean, that sounds pretty dope for a guy who has. Oh, I'm sorry. It says register at the top right. So if you have a Switch and you're kind of underwhelmed with what's available right now, hopefully this could be a really cool thing.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Rainway. Yeah. That would be dope to be able to stream stuff. You know, because Nintendo's always been so protective. And
I was going to say, how in the world?
I know. We've seen this year with the Switch how they're trying to bring in the third parties. They're trying to bring in the indies and stuff like that. So hopefully they allow this to happen. Of course, they could put the kibosh on it still and it not happen, and this guy just be having pipe dreams. But hey, somebody's working on it, and
give it a shot.
Down to go along with the ride, man. So I love that.
Yeah, really.
Let's get it. What else you got, Chris?
Gabe, did you ever play, or have you at least heard of Night Trap?
Oh yeah, this was one of my stories, Bishop. I played Night Trap.
Did you really?
What? Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Night Trap, for those who are not aware, is an infamously very bad full motion video game from 1992.
I think it was all bad.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is like really infamous. Like it was really panned, and I think it only came out on the Sega CD in the US. Does that sound right? Originally,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's getting a 25th anniversary re-release on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One this spring. And there's a company called Limited Run Games. They take games and they make it a limited run of physical editions. They're releasing a physical edition for the PlayStation 4.
Yes, and the Xbox, right?
I think it's only going to be for the PlayStation 4 is getting the physical edition, at least currently at the moment. That's what I saw. And they're going to have 3 different cover choices and everything. But I just thought this was crazy because not too long ago, they came out with some company did a Kickstarter to try to revive Night Trap. And they had like a $330,000 goal, and they didn't get anywhere near it. They only raised like $40,000, and it failed. So I have no idea how this is actually still becoming a thing. But if you got to look up Night Trap and the re-release, and you've got to look up the trailer. It is so bad, and I don't even know what do you do in the game.
It's like it's the same thing as like. Have you guys remembered me talking about like Double Switch or games like that where like. I think this is how Night Trap work. It was like, it's a girls' slumber party.
Yes.
And people are breaking into the house. And so you have to like switch between these different rooms and activate these traps to be able to stop them from kidnapping these girls. And so, yes, it will be PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And so it's a full motion video. It's all live acted, and it's
corny as all get out.
Oh, it's so campy.
It is.
It's definitely the year that even back then it was campy. You know what I'm saying? Like even though it's the 90s, and you're just like everything's campy. The time of freaking what do you call it? Power Rangers and stuff like that.
Right.
It's just so bad. But
amazing.
Yes, it's being re-released, and I will probably get it. What's really interesting is that back then, it was rated M for mature after the foundation of ESRB. It just tells you the way the world's gone. Now it's T for teen.
No way.
Just because it's like, this girls running around in their, pajamas and stuff. I don't remember anything being crazy in it, but, Two, I was a teenage boy at the time. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's hilarious.
Girls, girls in their nightgowns. So
funny.
Their nightgowns,
right? So, yeah, man.
Do yourself a favor and at least go out and look up the trailer. You've got to check it out.
Wow.
I mean, it's gonna hurt, but yeah, go do it.
It's like one of those so bad you can't stop, like a train wreck.
Exactly.
You gotta watch.
Let's see what else is going on. We've got Call of Duty. We got to see they put up a picture for Call of Duty World War II. I don't know what it's going to be called. Is it going to be called? What is it going to be called?
Yeah,
Anybody know what it's going to be called?
it is. I think it's called Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah. So going back to its roots, right?
Something like that. they're just, everybody else is just saying like, following Battlefield, huh?
Exactly. And that's
what everybody thinks anyways.
Yeah. And in this interview, Activision CEO Eric Hirschberg is what I'm going with.
There you go.
Hirschberg.
That sounds good.
He did say, he's like, I can't comment on any influence that might have impacted our competitors, but we know that we greenlighted this 3 years ago. So yes, it's going to look like we're following. I'm now off his quote, but yes, It's going to look like they're following Battlefield 1. But he's like, how would we know 3 years ago that they're going to do this?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that's the reality of it. But everybody always likes the conspiracy theories.
World War I, right? And this is World War II.
Yes.
Yep.
So, but I think we were all, I don't know if gaming as a collective was begging for this, but I was begging for them to go back to something old school. So
this actually might be one that I would play because I enjoy the World War I and World War II era anyway, and like the modern stuff never did anything for me, but this could be really cool.
Yeah, and they're having the reveal for it this Thursday, I believe. I think.
And so Sledgehammer Games is the one doing it. It's going to be their second Call of Duty. They did Advanced Warfare 2014.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting, man. I'm down. I'm down to go back. I don't love old games, but I just felt like the Call of Duties just got a little too futuristic for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see them kind of dip back.
It's definitely like an ebb and a flow because there for a while, all the Call of Duty games were surrounded around like World War II. Yeah. And then people just got sick of it. And they're like, oh, can we do a different era? And then they, so they slowly started going into, the future and near future and then far future. And then people just started getting tired of that. It goes back and forth. What's old is new again.
Yeah.
And that's what we were saying about the internet earlier too, is like, we're like, this is getting too new. Go back. And then they go back and they're like, these guys are just copying Battlefield 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which one do you want?
Right.
And it's interesting too. I saw a story, title header. I didn't look at the story, but it brought up a good point. It said it was something along the lines of why it's better that gaming is run by gaming people and not by the fans. And I was like, oh man, that's a really good point because, we don't know what we want actually.
Yep. Until we see
it. Right. We want a million different things. So the fact that, gaming as a whole gives us something that we can sink our teeth into and enjoy or hate on, I think is the better way to go than being blown by the wind of the fans.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
What else you got, Christopher?
So there's a piece of Resident Evil 7 DLC called Not a Hero that was announced to be coming in spring 2017. But this is really just to kind of show you the differences between the way that Japanese companies handle things and Western companies handle things. This is a piece of free DLC. So it wasn't paid by any means. Now, but they did say, hey, this is going to be coming, this DLC, and it's going to be in the spring 2017. Well, Capcom came out and announced that there's going to be a delay for it. But they put out a 3-minute video that has the producer, the director, and the executive director on the game telling you like why it happened and like saying we're sorry that it's being delayed, but we want the game to be perfect and right. And they're like bowing in the video to show that they're sorry about this and everything. It's like if it was an American, they would just be like, put out a little press release. This game's delayed. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Like,
I know. Yeah, or this DLC will come out whenever. It's like the fact that they put this much like reverence and like respect to your time and your eagerness for this, that they put out a 3-minute video with all these bigwigs saying like, we're sorry, this free DLC is not coming exactly when we originally said.
It's like y'all didn't even know y'all was getting it till we said y'all was getting it. Now we're saying it's going to be a minute. Just chill out.
And even though I don't think it would make sense for every game company to do this kind of stuff all the time, there's something, it just puts a smile on my face that they went to this level to do this.
Yeah.
It shows like a mutual respect to me for the gamers and the people enjoying their game and how much they, and I feel like something like this goes a long way to making people be okay with it, which again, I know this is going to be free, so it's not like you really should be upset anyways. But I mean, like if a company come out and puts this much effort, I'm going to totally give them a pass, even if it was free paid DLC.
Yeah.
You know? Like when you just
Sure.
put out like a press release that just says this game's gonna be delayed. We regret to tell you that it's gonna take a little bit longer. It's like it just seems so cold and like they don't care, and especially if it's prepaid DLC. Well, like you bought a season pass and you're expecting it and all that.
Right.
So I really dug that they did.
Yeah,
this.
you're creating
So
content.
Nintendo, if you want to release a video letting us know why you're not making any more of the NES classics, we'd appreciate it. Is what
There
Chris
you
is
go.
saying.
I would love it.
Right.
Love it.
Bow a couple times, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
So the hype about Red Dead Redemption 2,
Ooh.
Yeah.
the fever has gotten them.
It is real.
The fever has gotten them so much that Amazon is no longer taking pre-orders on the
What?
PlayStation 4 version of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Wow.
It's
Really?
listed as currently unavailable, like they're sold out of physical copies for the title. And part of their official response was, we're sold out of the copies that we've been given. Like the number we know that we're getting, we've sold already. So
Wow.
you can still get it on Xbox One. That one hasn't sold out yet. But on Amazon, one of the biggest stores
Yeah.
anywhere,
Yeah.
doesn't have Red Dead Redemption 2 anymore. And this thing doesn't even have a release date.
Wow.
That crazy.
So that is some craziness. I didn't play the first one, so I'm not hype on it all like that. But
I didn't either.
people are freaking hype.
Yeah, they are.
So it is unavailable for the PS4 platform. Let me see. Xbox One. Yes, you can still get it for the Xbox One, but
Nice.
not for the PS4.
There you go.
They done. We Uncle, we ain't got no more.
I
What else you got, Chris?
am out, good sir.
I've got one more thing just because it's the week of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe coming out on the Switch. Games Radar did an interview with the original development team of Mario Kart, and they were saying, I thought this was interesting, that they never set out to make a Mario Kart. It was actually the roots of the game came from them trying to launch a multiplayer version of F-Zero on the SNES.
Interesting.
Yeah, and as they were making it, it kind of just turned it. They said there was no karts, there was no Mario anywhere near when they first set out to develop this game. They set out to develop another F-Zero, and as they kind of went down the lane, it morphed into what became Super Mario Kart, which I think is just so cool. I would love to hear more of the story and how that kind of changed, but I thought that was really interesting, especially with
that's
Mario
cool.
Kart coming out Friday.
It's neat
So
to
that's
hear
all.
the humble beginnings of different things. How people are like, we didn't even know this was going to go this route. We were
Exactly.
doing this other thing.
I love that.
Exactly. So a lot of people are hype. I know. I don't have all the information. I'm sorry, but I know that like there's a couple of our brother and sister podcasts that are, the guys from Play Some Video Games and the Fortress of Nerditude, trying to set up a Mario Kart night. Obviously, we tried to do this the first time around, and it did okay. It petered out, but I know that a lot of people are hype on the Switch version. So be keeping your ear to the Facebooks and Twitter and all that, and we will let you guys know when some game nights are happening on this old Mario Kart.
It's too
That's
bad
right.
that they haven't Nintendo hasn't launched their, I know it's going to be through a phone app or whatever, but whatever the party chat kind of
Dude,
thing.
if you ain't lying.
I mean, because it's already a bit clunky that it's going to be attached to a phone, but at least it's something and it's voice chat. It's too bad it's not launching either simultaneously or has already come out so that you could use it, because that just seems like a perfect opportunity to use it.
Well, I just don't know why they haven't come out with an app, period, so where I can add people on my phone and stuff like that easily.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Like I got it, and the Switch is portable. I get it, but I don't have it on me at all times where I always have my phone on me.
Yeah.
And so I'd love to, somebody was hitting me up on Facebook the other day. They're like, hey, what's your Switch code? I was like, SW939er.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so hopefully they streamline all that to where you can add friends easily. If I'm at a coffee shop and getting into a conversation with somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I got the Switch. It's like, oh, we should add each other. With PlayStation and Xbox, I can do that so easy.
Right.
But
Yeah.
with Nintendo, it's, they like to get in their own way a little bit,
A little
Just
bit.
as we've noted. Oh my gosh. Ed Placencia,
Gabe Patillo.
do you have enough voice to let us know what's going on the YouTube channel that there, brethren?
Yeah, I got enough for that, man.
Let's do it.
Like I promised last week, Guardians of the Galaxy Episode 1, Tangled Up in Blue, is up there in its entirety.
And what do you think about it?
Yeah.
You know, I enjoyed it. It's a fun game. Telltale changed their animation style a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like the cell shaded anymore, right? Or at least for this game?
You know, they had like the black outlines, everyone, and they had like the black lines on the cheekbones and stuff like that. That's all gone.
Oh, weird.
So it's just like, it actually looks like their old Back to the Future game.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of it. I like that old style.
Oh, really?
And, you know,
Guardians of the new old style.
Yeah. And you know, I like that comic book look, and Guardians of the Galaxy was a comic book. So I thought that was weird that they would get rid of that look and that style for this game. So
Very
it kind
interesting.
It's sort of, I didn't notice it until maybe halfway through. I was like, that's what's different. And once I noticed it, I was like, I don't know if
you couldn't unsee it.
Yeah, and it kind of took away from the enjoyment for me, just because I felt like that's the Telltale style, and I kind of missed that.
Interesting.
Nolan North does a great Rocket.
Does he?
If you're concerned about that, rest easy that Rocket is still Rocket, and it's a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Then this week, The Walking Dead: A New Frontier episode 4 dropped, and that is up there as well, all 6 parts. So
all kind of Telltale going on.
I'm telling you, man.
And they're back to the style you like. So you're like,
exactly.
I'm back where I want to be.
Though, are you liking it, though? Are you liking it at least? I know the art style is different. And that's, kind of got you bummed, but do you like it?
Yeah, it's fun. They've introduced, kind of like they did with Batman, they've introduced a couple really clever mechanics that haven't been in games before. So that's kind of fun, and it's a fun story. And I'm definitely looking to see what happens next. I was just kind of bummed that visually they tweaked things up a little bit. Let's see the top 10 YouTube videos this week, combined average watch time and views. Number 10, Watch Dogs 2, Part 42, Chinatown Shuffle. I don't know where that one came from.
Yeah, weird.
Number 9, Sniper Elite 4, Part 3, San Celini Island, Destroy Cameras.
Yep.
Number 8, Hue, Part 11, Ending. Number 7, Watch Dogs 2, Part 6, Bottom Dollar Complete. Number 6, Married to the Games, Episode 240, Roofy the Doofy Giraffe.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Number 5, Watch Dogs 2, Part 5, Bottom Dollar Fail.
Korea.
Number 4, Ori and the Blind Forest, Part 14.
Don't fell swamp.
Oh,
that one hurt.
I'm not fixing that one up.
3.
I'm letting everybody hear that and its awfulness.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it comes originally. Number 3, Watch Dogs 2, Part 19, Paint Job. Number 2, Watch Dogs 2, Part 48, Go Signals. And as it has been since 1984, number 1, Gabe and Chris react to The Last of Us Part 2.
You know what's so great about that video?
Everything.
Is that it's
everything?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is that it's Chris's face and my voice.
I know.
Because my video didn't work on that one.
That's so
that's
great.
right.
I'm totally giving credit to Chris for that one because I'm not on there, really.
That's hilarious.
I love that. Thank you, Eduardo.
You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you guys demos. What say you? You need them, got to have them? Let us know. Spam humbug over at the forums. Sorry, I've been a stranger. I gave up video games and podcasts for Lent.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm just getting back into the swing of both of those things. Yeah. Welcome back. Gabe Kaplan. To the topic. I used to like the idea of demos, and over the course of my gaming career, I remember playing many demos. But having gotten a bit more of an understanding of how games are developed, I can't say I'm much of a fan of demos anymore. Building a demo for a modern game requires forking the code base months in advance and requires diverting development talent to polish, packaging, and releasing it, all of which have a negative impact on the development of the full game. 2, because it's being built for a forked code base and probably a forked asset repository. Woof. These are big words for your boy.
A lot of forks.
The demo will invariably contain things that will not be reflective of the final game, which may in turn mean that a bad experience in the demo will put people off of the game for reasons that aren't applicable to the final product. I think things like early access are a better alternative to demos. The expansion of refunds on digital retail sales is another welcome trend. And I got to say, I said last week that I was going to try to get my money back on a PlayStation game.
Yes.
Just so you know, if you start that game, they can't refund you.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you buy a digital game and you're like, oh no, I didn't mean to buy this one, don't start it up. Like I only started up Hot Shots Tennis and to see that it was a PlayStation 2 release. And I was like, oh man, I don't want this. I don't think I even played. I might have played like half a round. So I might have put 8 minutes into the game. And they're like, sorry, you opened it. We can't give you your money back. So just know ahead of time. The Fabled one, I personally think demos help encourage the game's development. Yes, it may derail the progress, but they should allow it to make or make early access free or a reasonable cost to allow other people to see the value instead of the early access cash exploit that it has become. That makes sense. Robert Darrell Good Jr. He's good for being on the forum. So a while back, I mentioned that I played Viva Pinata. Don't judge me. The only reason I bought it was because I played the demo, and my wife and I, against all our expectations, fell in love with the game.
Nice.
Before long, I had most of the guys at work playing it too. I think demos are great, but I do think they're changing form. Free play days and free to play games are making the previous format more and more obsolete. There you go. Over on the Facebook, D High. Demos have led to a huge amount of purchases in the past for me. You can test drive a car, try on clothes, even sample some foods. Being able to sample a game is a necessity.
Good point.
That's a good way to look at that. Yeah. Daniel Allen, demos need to be part of gaming again. With Steam and Xbox allowing returns, companies need to put their best product forward and get word out. My question to you guys, do you think demos have diminished because so many games need day one patches and companies don't want to put out a broken product? That's a good way to look at it. I wonder. The day one patch thing, I think, shouldn't pertain to demos. If a demo's not right, yes, don't release it. But we've definitely seen so many people with Destiny included, release demos, if you want to say, in a way that feel like you still get a good scope of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would think day one patches and demos would be kind of in different groups, kind of like Spam was saying on the forum. It might be a different team altogether.
Yeah.
Could be.
I don't necessarily think that the day one patch stuff has as much to do with it, because when you are doing the demo, I mean, especially if it's like just the first section of the game or whatever, like they're saying, usually you can pretty well nail that down. And the other thing about demos is that when you go to an E3 or a Gamescom or whatever, a lot of times they have demos. It's like whatever the people are playing at these conferences. I mean, I would think, not being a developer, why can't you just put that on the store, or something? Because I mean, you've obviously already built something, even if it's a really small thing. I mean, and there's no time limit or something that says a demo's got to be 10 minutes or anything. I mean, it can be whatever.
And I think too, demos are pretty good with that opening screen being like, "Hey, this isn't finished, y'all."
Yes.
Right,
so just know that as you play it. And when you're at E3 playing on the floor, they have guys there telling you that constantly.
Yeah.
So this game's not finished. They're still polishing it up, but they wanted to have it out here on the floor. And so you kind of are constantly hearing that. So if we can get in that mindset, I think it would help as you go into the demo phase of things.
Yes.
Over on Twitter, we got some old school guys. I wanted to bring up Matt Lighty at M Lighty.
Hey.
He said, yes, back in the day, waited for magazines to arrive with demo CDs in them. Kept me busy till you could get that next game. That's for sure, man. Who was it that had all those? EGM? Who was it that had, they would always have a demo disc that came with the magazine? It was amazing.
I don't know.
That's
I think
really smart.
EGM did. You could also get demo discs from PlayStation Magazine, and I'm sure the Nintendo Power probably had. Well, maybe not Nintendo Power because they were cartridges, but I'm sure there were other ones too that had them that were more specific.
Holy Headshot said PC Gamer used to do it a lot.
Yeah, PC
Man,
Gamer.
I used to love those demo discs. Oh my gosh. And consoles used to launch with the demo discs. You remember that, like back in the PS1 era? Chowfie, at that Chowfie, back in the day I cared a lot, but now thanks to the internet and mostly YouTube, I can see what I need before I decide to buy or not.
Very true.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, I feel like demos are really important for things where it's new technology and stuff, like VR in particular is an area where I think that's definitely something that even if you see it on like a Twitch stream or a YouTube video, it really doesn't give you the real picture of what it is. It's just different until you actually put it on. Now, whether or not you'll still like it, that's still for the person to decide. They may still hate it even after they've tried it. But I feel like VR definitely lends itself to demos. And there's a good amount of demos on PSVR in particular, but there's not enough of them. I feel like there definitely needs to be more. I feel like it almost would have helped Sony in a way if they could have, and I don't know that they actually could have done this, but almost mandate that, like, hey, you need to make the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes of your game available or something. Because to the other people's point, like, it does take a lot of time and resource to build the demo. So I don't think you should necessarily bring that on, because a lot of the VR games are indie teams that are just kind of getting started in this realm of VR. So you don't want to put more work than necessary. But I like that idea of, oh, this is just the beginning section of the game or something. That way it's something you're already working on anyways.
Exactly. Stephen Miller at Weight of Joy. Is there some market study that says people don't buy games with demos anymore? Because if I play a demo and like it, I usually buy the game.
Yeah, no.
Seriously.
Right?
I love this answer. Jeff, the android at Remake Yourself, our boy Jeff Swan. I love them. Without demos, I would have only gotten 4 hours of use from my PSVR. Instead, I got 4 hours and 45 minutes.
Hey.
I love that.
That's hilarious.
But I mean, for me, with the wife, man, I tell you what, on the Switch, having these demos that they've released, Snipper Clips, Splatoon 2, and whatever that Puyo Puyo Tetris is. Like, I downloaded that and we played the mess out of that demo last week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man. And it was just fun sitting down with Jenny and passing her the remote and us playing Tetris versus each other. It's not Dr. Mario. It's not exactly what she's wanting.
Yeah.
But it still kind of scratched that itch. And she did beat me a couple times. So that's always
there you go.
Plus.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys know thanks for answering the question. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. Like Ed was saying, YouTube.com/Married to the Games. You can come to marriedtothegames.com and also check out our Patreon, patreon.com/MTTG.
Whoop, whoop.
Thank you guys so much. And Tim.
Oh, rate us on iTunes so we can all go to San Francisco together. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
That's what I'm
The
talking
feels.
about.
I was not expecting that one. Good on you, Gabe. Good on you.
Yep. Well, let's get into some questions.
All right. We're going to start with some email. D-High. If someone narrated your life, who would you want to be the narrator? The obvious choice would be Morgan Freeman, but I would most likely go with Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman in the Arkham games and the animated series. So who would you want to your life to be narrated by?
Oh, man.
Besides Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, I think the obvious choice would be Morgan Freeman.
I mean, that Joker made penguins exciting. I don't know how
exactly, right?
I know, right? Jeez.
Let's go with shoot, man. I don't know. Kevin Hart.
Oh,
nice.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna go with.
It would get annoying, but it'd be funny at least.
It'd be hilarious.
I think the funny would outweigh the annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I'll go with Michael Caine. I like his voice.
Oh
yeah,
Michael
Caine, that's a
Caine.
good
Listen
one.
to you.
I would love to hear the McCracken story by Michael Caine.
Yes,
just
that'd be
hearing you say
awesome.
the title makes me get goosebumps.
The Kraken story.
Let's make this happen, Mr. Caine.
Yeah,
That's right.
do it. We'll do a day in the life of.
Right.
Oh, that'd be great.
What say you?
I think for me, I think Kevin Spacey would be good. I like his
nice.
voice.
Hell
He's got a
yeah.
really like smooth voice.
But he needs to do it in his Frank Underwood voice.
Yes.
Yeah, don't do it in that voice.
No, that'd be a little creepy.
Gracious. Yeah. Ed?
I'm going to say Bill Hader.
Oh,
Really?
yes.
Good one, Bill Hader.
Bill
Nice.
Hader.
Yeah, I feel
Wow.
like he's got I like his voice, and I feel like if he needs to get silly in parts, then he can definitely do that. So
That boy has
Nice.
got range. You hear me?
Yeah, he really
I know,
does.
right?
That Joker has range.
He
Yeah,
really
he
does. That's awesome.
Like it. Good question.
Fantastic question. Robert Darrell Good Jr. emails
Oh,
us.
snap on the questions.
He is all over the place. I love it. Out of all the music that you've ever heard, is there a lyric that sticks out to you? This doesn't have to be from a song you actually like, just a lyric that you feel was particularly witty or impactful, or maybe a lyric that you identify with. What would it be and who wrote and or recorded it? I have two.
Ooh.
This is a great question. I have two. Number one, I Am a Question to the World by John Resnick.
Mhm.
And you've been deceived to think that pain is to be dreaded. When you've got nothing left, it'll give more than it takes by Kendall Payne. Keep up the great
Ooh.
work, guys. Really good
Nice.
question.
That's a great question.
That's a tough one, too.
I
Yeah,
actually
it is.
have one.
Oh, you do? Go.
This is gonna be weird, but
This Christmas.
exactly. Leanne Womack's "I Hope You Dance."
Ooh.
Something about that "I Hope You Dance," only because I'm a joyful guy and I'm an extrovert, and I want people to enjoy their lives to the fullest. And so what that song is talking about is like the line before it is, "If you have the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance." And for some reason, I
Nice.
love that. I love that lyric, and I feel like it just applies across the board to so many things in life.
Yeah. Wow.
Chris, something Metallica, something about kill somebody.
Kill 'em all.
I only have two. Like, if I sat and thought about this, I could probably come up with some really good answers. But because I'm trying to go quick, I'm going to go to. There's two that come to mind. They're both by the same group, and the one of them in particular is not impactful or insightful or any
Ready
of
or
that
Not,
stuff
Here
at
I
all.
Come?
No, it's 2 times 2 is chicken. And just because I like that, I just think it's funny.
That's
I actually
awesome.
have that as my tag. Back when I used to be on a bunch of different race car forums or like racing forums back in the day, that was always my little tag under my name was 2 times 2 is chicken. I just think that's a funny line.
Who's that? Okay,
It's by Brand Van 3000. It's a group from Canada. And the other one is also from them. This one's a little more insightful, but I just kind of like the way that it sounds. It says, every time you're not around, it doesn't matter because you're everywhere to me. I just kind of liked
Yeah.
that.
Ooh, I
There
like
you
that.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Ed, something by Dido. Tea's Gone Cold.
Close. You know what? One that's haunted me for like since I was a little kid is a song from the Muppet movie.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And it's
Ooh.
a song that Gonzo sang called I'm going to go back there someday. And and there's just a line that said, "There's not a word yet for old friends who've just met." I love that.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
Listen to you.
There you go.
Nice.
That's
I like that a lot.
amazing.
Yeah.
Tim,
Man, it's hard for me because as my wife tells me, I have
dance
a
too much booty in the pants.
Well, that too. That too. And thong. No, like I always just have theme music in my head anyway. As I'm walking down the street, she always makes fun of me for that just because
Yep, I'm
I
the same
just
way.
like that. So I'm always more of like a happy, like go lucky kind of a guy. For some reason, Don't You Worry About a Thing, Stevie Wonder is sticking in my head right now just because
wow.
I've
Oh yeah,
heard
I like
it
that.
over and over again from Sing because Tori Kelly did it as well. But it really is. It's kind of my mantra anyways. Don't worry about a thing. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, I like that.
That's cool.
So it's a great
That's
song.
The
fitting.
world needs a little bit of that.
Good deal.
Right?
I like
Yeah,
that.
And the world
exactly.
needs a little bit of, maybe worry just a little bit. I mean, it's
But
still
just-
going to be all right, but
Sure,
just
sure,
let's
sure.
cautiously
Exactly.
Don't be
keep going
stupid.
down this road. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. All right.
That's a
moving. That was
great question.
Fantastic
Yes.
question. Thank you for that. Moving on to Twitter at dspin67. Every guy should have a man cave. What item or items is a must-have for your man cave? Ed, nothing coffee related.
Yeah, that's funny. Surround sound.
Yep. My answer as well.
Really?
Man, a good
Yeah.
comfy
Sound, huh?
couch. A good comfy couch for me. Like
Yeah.
something,
Nice.
and like like something I can kick my, because I like to put my feet up. So if it's like a couch and a coffee table, or even a recliner, I don't know. I like more space.
Yeah, man.
Like a couch and a coffee table.
I kind of like that. I'm more of a recliner person myself, but a really good place to sit, an awesome chair or love seat or something that's really comfortable. You can just spend hours in. It's a gotta have.
Nice.
You know, it's interesting. I don't really get uncomfortable in chairs that much. So, but I can definitely feel those answers. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. It's not necessarily being uncomfortable. It's just like your comfortable poise, I guess, when you're sitting there gaming. You know,
I just
love
I love how you feel engrossed with surround sound.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I first installed surround sound in my last house, and I think the first thing I did was throw on Call of Duty, and it was like, let's freaking do this thing. You know, nice. Just all around, love it.
But see, like for me, when I think man cave, like I'm not necessarily going to watch movies in a man cave. That's more of like a living room thing to me, like with Stacy maybe.
I didn't say anything about movies.
Well, no, I know, but what I'm getting at is like for me, because in a man cave on a TV screen, probably all I'm going to be doing is playing games. I just want to have a good headset. Like I enjoy the surround sound as well, but to me, it's all about headset. I don't care about all the speakers, and I'm not going to have it out. That I don't want to be rocking the whole house. I want myself.
But let
me
ask you this though: would you take headphones over surround sound? Let's say if sound wasn't an issue and you're not going to bother anybody in the house, because that's what I think about man caves is like, I'm a freaking insulate it to where nobody else can hear it. Yeah. Would you rather have headphones on or have speakers going?
I would have headphones.
I love the immersiveness. I can't say for sure because I've never had like awesome, legit surround sound outside of a movie theater. I've not experienced that like in a home setting. So I feel like I want to default to just doing the headset. I just feel like they're so more versatile and
man,
it's much
I do
better.
not like wearing headphones.
Yeah, I like wearing a headset.
And that way, if someone else is watching with you, they can get blown away by the sound as well. And
exactly,
if you're showing
I
someone
want anybody near me,
like he's being shot too.
Right?
Man, I will never forget that first time I put on headphones. It was Borderlands 2, and my world was rocked. I was like, this sounds incredible.
Yes.
It was so awesome. Great question. Everybody got theirs in?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Lucas Ham Swisher. Man, we have not heard from this gentleman in a while. Wow. Mr. Ham, he's like, been too long. Adulting has me down. Miss talking to you guys, but still listening. So, what's the hardest question you've ever answered?
This one.
Yeah, I know. Man.
Gosh. I think my hardest questions to answer are to come with kids, but the hardest question, do you take this woman probably as your lawfully wedded wife?
There you go.
Only because like I'm all about marriage. I think it's important. But there was like, that day, definitely I was like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Wait. Is she the one? Am I doing the right thing? I definitely had those like, not cold feet to where I really doubted it. No, I did have it in the back of my mind like.
That's totally natural though, man.
Man, I hope I'm making the right decision here because I'm not about that divorce life or I'm not trying to be about it. Yeah. And so I really want this to work out and I really hope that, I've been, listening and chose the right one here,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take awesome. The wedding day questions.
Wow.
And by the way, this doesn't have to be questions that have been sent to us on the podcast. I like that, Gabe, that you went in a totally different direction. Like just in your life, what's the hardest question you've ever answered?
Yeah, man. Chris, you got one?
Jeez. Loop back around.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You jerk.
I know, right?
I don't know. Probably a math question.
Yeah. Calculus.
2 is chicken.
I know, right?
There you go. I like that.
The square root of chicken is egg or something like that. I don't know.
What came first, chicken or the egg? That was pretty
exactly.
Right. Never answered.
Router?
Man, I don't know. Will you be paying by cash or charge?
Draft or in a bottle?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
That's funny.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know. I can't think of one. It's got to be something with like paying for something because it's hard to do something like that.
That's true.
It really is this question.
Yeah, right? I guess it is.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, good one. All right, well, we'll do a quick fire one by at Dopalicious. This one's interesting. It's resurrect, reminisce, or remove.
Ooh.
So his was to resurrect. He wants to resurrect Sugar Ray.
Oh, no, you don't.
Yeah, exactly. To reminisce, Smash Mouth. Remove, Sublime.
What?
That was his. I would actually flip that. You could resurrect Sublime and remove Sugar Ray. Clearly, we're 90s. He's a 90s rocker, so that's whatever. But go ahead. All right. Something you want to resurrect, something you reminisce, and something you want to remove.
I feel bad because Sugar Ray isn't even dead.
I know. Sublime is. Like, how you remove somebody that's dead? They're not making any more music.
He's just on extra. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, resurrect the Fugees for sure.
Whoa, man, yes.
What were the other two? Remove and what?
Reminisce.
Ooh, reminisce.
The Fugees.
Yeah, exactly. Reminisce on. Gosh, I'd like to reminisce on. I love the Beach Boys catalog.
Ooh.
And so I wasn't around when it first came out, but like I was telling Jenny I wanted like school her up on Beach Boys because those songs were just amazing. And then remove. Ooh, I don't know about remove. Oh, somebody else go. I'll come back with a remove. Ed,
So, does this have to be
Tim?
music related? I mean, should we stick with this music, or do you want to
stick
do
with
like
music? He did all music. We'll just do all music.
Okay, we'll stick with music.
I'm gonna go resurrect DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Oh, come on now. Hallelujah.
They're also gonna be my reminisce. And see you later, Kanye.
Oh, yes.
I can get on board
Yes.
with that.
Wow.
Yes, like
There
that.
you go. New
for me-
Kanye. Yeah.
For me, resurrect. I know I can't do it, but Guru from Gangstar and just the whole Gangstar crew was amazing.
There you go. Yeah.
Reminisce, man. The miseducation of Lauryn Hill, because that's
my gosh.
that's
man,
right
dude.
when Lauren and I got married, and I used to play the mess out of that.
Lauren,
and
your
it's-
wife, not Lauryn Hill.
Right.
Just in case anybody wondering.
Right, exactly. And remove, yeah, man, pretty much any modern hip hop where you can't understand what they're
Oh
saying
my
and everyone's
gosh.
slurring. I'm so sick of it. You know
Yeah,
what? I also
I
what I really want to do is resurrect 90s hip hop because there's nothing better. Nothing
There you go.
in me. There's nothing better. So
Sounds
there
like
you
an
go.
old man.
That's right.
Chris.
Resurrect Nirvana,
Yeah.
Ooh,
reminisce
yeah.
Pearl Jam, and remove Maroon 5.
Dude,
Crazy. You really don't like them, huh?
man.
I just don't
feel
like
so
his voice.
sorry.
I actually don't think they make that bad of music.
They really
I
don't.
don't
That's
dig
the
Adam
weird
Levine's
thing.
singing voice.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
you're not a falsetto guy at all. That's for sure.
Man,
Yeah, that's-
I do not know who to remove. There's got to be somebody I really can't stand out there. You know who I don't like that much? I'm gonna catch hate for this. Personally, I could remove Gaga. Honestly.
Oh yeah,
Really?
definitely.
Yeah, I don't,
really?
I
I
don't
don't
like
mind her.
Lady
I don't have any
Gaga.
problems with her.
Yeah, that's
No,
fine.
she's definitely on the to-go list.
Oh, I love.
She's
I
on the
think
wait
she's
Can I
list.
amazing.
get some Lady Gaga to go? Yeah,
I respectfully disagree, but that's totally fine.
yeah, that's all good.
I think she's only because I've heard interviews with her, and she really is very intelligent. But that's
She's really smart. Yeah, she's brilliant.
She is, but
I'm
like
not
the
saying she's
performing,
not, I just
no, the
don't like
performing
the
stuff
stuff.
can definitely be like a little put off.
yeah, and the showing up in an egg and the meat suits and all that.
That was
stuff.
back in the day,
I like
yeah.
the weird
Without all
stuff.
that.
I find it
Yeah.
interesting.
I like the Gaga now actually because she's a little older and a little wiser. Like I didn't like the Gaga before, but
Yeah. I got you.
there
Good
it is.
question, though.
Yeah, that was great. That's a great way to wrap it up. Thanks for all the questions. Perfect.
Yeah, thank you guys. The question of the week for you guys, it's a fill in the blank.
Uh-oh.
In gaming, I wish fill in the blank.
Oh, geesh.
Oh, good Lord.
I know. I'll start because I knew the question ahead of time. In gaming, I wish there were more communities like Married to the Game.
Oh yes.
Aw.
Oh, you
There it
brown-noser.
is.
Because when we talked about like LOL and stuff like that, League of Legends a couple weeks ago, and people were saying how they did play it, but they got out because of the community. Like,
Yeah.
like the community is driving people away from games, and I've had that before, where it's like, you know. And then when Router was talking about Rocket League and how
Yeah.
crazy it can get on there, and you're like, come on, y'all. Like, we're still people, right? We're still people treating people like this. So, I wish, and I know our community is so uplifting and support each other. And when podcasts are born out of this thing, people go listen and they support. And that's huge. That's incredible. And I feel like the needle could be moved so far forward if we continue to respectfully disagree and push each other to be better.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that.
Instead of just being like, you're the worst, I hope you never breathe again. And you're like,
yeah, exactly.
Thank you for that note. Yeah, I'll definitely change that about my show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Chris?
In gaming, I wish all platforms could legitimately play together.
Oh, you took mine.
That is such a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a
I'm a
good
bit
one, Chris.
bullish. I don't think it'll ever actually happen, but I wish that it could be kind of similar to the PC world. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a Dell or an
Exactly.
Alienware or whatever, HP.
Yeah.
It's like you can, as long as yours is powerful enough to play X game, you can play with another person on a different type of PC. I do wish Xbox and PlayStation and then even Nintendo, if they want to jump in on it, if they all had the same third-party game, they could play together and not just play like the game, but like actually party up and chat cross-platform and all that.
Yes. Oh, I would
Yeah.
love
I think that would be
That's
amazing.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good. Ed?
In gaming, I wish there was a game as good as Uncharted 4 that the four of us could voice act.
Oh, I love that.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That would be
Get outta
great.
here. I call the wife.
All right. All right.
I just want to wear the mocap suit even when we're not doing mocap sessions.
I know,
Yes.
right?
Just walk into the coffee
That's
shop.
how you know. That's how you know Ed's in shape. I've never wanted to wear a mocap suit.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That
You
thing
should
a
wear a
little too
mocap
skin
suit on your 5K.
That thing a little too skin tight for me. They'd be like, when did the black Michelin man show up?
Here comes the blueberry.
Exactly. Golly.
I got a
Like a
blueberry for a
Michelin man.
friend.
Oh. Wah, wah.
Louder.
In gaming, I wish I played multiplayer more, but because of all the toxicity and just
No,
You know,
okay,
all
all
that
right,
stuff.
look, Tim. You got to
here we
get this
go.
whole toxicity thing out of your brain because all you got to do is just play the game, go into a party, and only play with the people you know. You can go
Well,
into
I
a
know
party
that.
and play like Call of Duty or whatever, and you don't have to hear any of the other people, and you can still enjoy the game.
it's true.
Like, don't let the toxicity part of it just like
But it's not
scare
just
you away.
toxicity around. It's there's just times it's just I don't want to play with other people, and I wish I
Yeah, and that's
But
valid.
you
Like,
did.
I mean, a
I
lot
wish-
of
I
people
wish
use
I
the
would play
toxicity
more.
part.
Like when
Yeah.
I played Destiny with you guys, when we played Rocket League together, like that was so much fun. I don't do it enough, and because all of our gaming hours are so different. So like
Yeah.
I wish I was kind of more on a schedule. Not like
Yeah, I hear you.
So
That
I
makes
don't
sense.
know,
That makes
whatever.
perfect sense.
I'm just more
Let
of a
us
single
go.
player guy.
Right. Let us know, you guys. In gaming, I wish fill in the blank. I know it's a big canvas to fill up, but you guys can do it. We believe in you.
But next week's going to be, what's the hardest question you ever had?
Yeah, right.
Turn it on you guys.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for listening. 241 in the books. We appreciate you guys being here.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. And that is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games. And we're up out this thing. Peace!